This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, it's Sombrero Day. Happy Thursday. I decided we're going to talk about this today substantively. How do you feel about that?
I'm okay with talking about it substantively.
Mm-hmm.
You?
I'm thinking about it. I was just saying this out there. I'm like, what am I doing? I should tell the story on air. Last night, laying in bed, and I'm laying on my side facing the window, and I'm scrolling through Twitter, as I am apt to do. It's kind of my, if I don't get to watch a ton of news at night, then I just go on Twitter and I it's time for your checkup. And then I just go and check up on the news and make sure that, okay, the dumpster fires that I was aware of are the ones that we're still talking about. Good night, sleep tight. And so I'm going through and I see these sombrero videos and I'm watching them. And Jared is snuggled up behind me with his head propped up over on a pillow, and he's looking over me, and he doesn't know anything about the sombreros. And that is a wild place to just enter the current political timeline, is the sombrero memes. If you haven't seen these, if you're not on Twitter, if you're not on X, do you know this stuff is happening? Is it on TikTok?
Because they're talking about it in the news, you might know from that.
It's a super funny thing to just jump into the middle of, though, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
So if you're like, oh, my gosh, the government is day 2 of shutdown. They seem to be at an impasse, and there's nothing that's going to resolve this because the Democrats want to give health care to illegal aliens, and the Republicans want a clean CR, but Hakeem Jeffries says it's dirty, and you're like, I got to get to the bottom of this.
Bigotry will get you nowhere. We are fighting to protect the health care of the American people in the face of an unprecedented Republican assault.
Thank you.
That was posted by the President of the United States, which is where this is a really important story. The President of the United States is posting this. This isn't something that is happening on the internet. It's something that is happening on the internet because the President put it there. That's the poll today. How do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? Yesterday we aired with J.D. Vance, we aired his admonishment of the Democrats for the Schumer shutdown. Of course, everything is now in hashtags and everything. Hashtag Schumer shutdown, whatever. He said he got asked a question from a reporter that was talking about the racist sombrero memes. And J.D. Vance is like, is Hakeem Jeffries a Mexican-American who's offended that I put a sombrero on him? It's a joke. That's what J.D. Vance said. He goes, it's just a joke. It's funny. And then he said, this is the cherry on top. J.D. Vance says, from the press briefing podium, we make a commitment to stop the sombrero memes if the Democrats agree to open up the government. You are here.
And I've talked to the president about this, and
yes!
He is on the same page.
He's made the commitment.
I'm not going to tell you how I'm answering this question yet because we got 3 hours. We're going to discuss. But I will say this.
You just do it over and over and over again.
If you see that video that Annie just played or even heard the audio.
Or the other one, the initial one, which I wanted to play, but Brad has informed me that Mr. Senator Chuck Schumer says bull sugar twice in it. Yeah. And because the Senate minority leader, who is frustrated about sombrero memes because it's like beneath the office, I can't play his clip with the sombrero because, not because of the sombrero, but because he's using profane language that the FCC government regulated agency won't let me play on these here public airwaves. You were saying?
If you watch that video or those videos and you are incensed, you were already incensed.
Yeah.
They're not.
It was just today's spice.
They're not changing the dialogue. They're not changing the political landscape. Whatever you already thought, you're probably bringing to that meme. So I just don't think that there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad about this, who aren't already mad at the president for anything.
Our poll question today, how do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? Wouldn't it be amazing to just take some of the poll questions that we've asked over the course of time, and let's say in 20 You were with the show in 2018. You're very close to your anniversary. It's October something because I got an email that said we were supposed to celebrate you, but I don't.
Thank you. I joined this show in 2019.
What day? What's your date?
September 30th. It was.
Oh, they put it in October.
Well, my work anniversary started in 2018.
So this show is September.
This show is September
2019.
30th of 2019.
And Brad's September 2021.
Yes.
Imagine in like 2016, someone's like, you guys are going to be a part of a great midday afternoon show on 97.1 FM Talk. And here are a few of the poll questions you'll ask. And one of them is, how do you feel about the president's sombrero memes?
I would say we're in a good place.
Aren't you going to go, how do we get there?
Yes, but
What happens between now and then that is the leading question of the day?
I know that that's a funny question, but it really does highlight a much deeper and bigger point. And I say this, anytime the news cycle is slow, the news stations tend to jump to something that doesn't matter quite as much. A lot of times that's a human interest story. It's some random crime that they elevate the person involved and they say, this person is a national celebrity now. Everybody care about this case. This to me is that. This means that
Slow news day?
No, not slow news day, just that
The government is shut down.
yeah, but this is about the government shutdown. I'm just saying, whenever it's like this and you can joke about the news a little bit, that's a good place to be.
I don't know. I think it depends on where you are, of course, in retrospect to the issue at hand. But this goes back to yesterday's poll question where we asked you if you thought if America was getting back to, did I say cultural normal?
Yes.
Did I use the word cultural?
Yep.
If we're getting back to normal, the fact that there is a little bit of an edge to this joke, to this meme, the fact that we're permitted to discuss whether or not we find it funny, in my opinion, signifies that we are somewhere closer to normal than we were when this all started.
Completely agree.
I am allowed to decide what I think is funny, and you are allowed to judge me for it.
Solid.
God bless America.
Yes.
What a great country. Our options for the poll question today, and I have 4 of them here. Sometimes I'm like, do you like them or not? But then it's a little more nuanced than that. How do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? The first one is it's a funny joke. The next one is doesn't bother me. You're kind of neither here nor there on it. You're not just waiting with bated breath because there's a lot of knockoff sombrero memes out there. Some of them are pretty funny. So doesn't bother me, or this is not helpful, which is one of the questions that was like how the wording was to JD Vance yesterday in the press briefing. Like, do you find this to be helpful? And he's like, helpful? It's a joke. Like, President Trump isn't doing sombrero memes on True Social and then everywhere else it gets posted to end the shutdown. That's not his grand plan, is it?
I don't know. It's definitely.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong on that.
I don't think he's approaching that meme and going, this will be helpful.
You know what we need? And also, I know that the president, for his True Social posts and stuff, I've seen videos of this. He dictates what's going to be posted, and he has somebody there who's just like flying on the keyboard, and he'll dictate the punctuation, capital letters, and he'll say this is what's going to happen. So I know that he is intimately involved in that, but I cannot imagine that these types of things. He's got a great team of digital memers, memographers,
Meme lords?
Meme lords,
meme
meme
lords?
masters.
Or I say meme lords. Memoids.
Meme lords.
Whatever we decide here, we are going to stick with.
Well, I guess it's meme lords.
His team gets it. And here's the thing. We keep hearing the left can't meme. They can't.
No.
What Gavin Newsom's team is doing is they're putting like Gru's Minions. What's the original movie called? Not Minions.
Despicable Me.
Despicable Me. They're putting Despicable Me minion overalls on JD Vance and I think Speaker Johnson and the circle glasses and making them talk like this. And that's all there is to it. And it's like you just filtered a video. I still agree with the minion. I'm with the minion. So you look at what the right is doing with this and what the left is doing with this. This is the difference, folks, and this is really important. And this is a great measurement of where you want to be. The right is doing this because it's funny and it's fun. The left is doing this because they're angry and they're mad. And it's never fun to laugh at a joke that's being said in a angry, hateful way. It's fun to laugh at everything when it's done in a fun and playful way. Now, I'm on the side that I feel like is winning in this issue, or will be winning, because we have a majority, at least for now. It's fun to have fun. It's fun to be in a position where you can be playful about things and not feel like the whole world's going to come crashing down because you decided for a second to exhale and have a little laugh. Here is Senator Kennedy from Louisiana.
And I don't mean any disrespect. I don't know Mr. Jeffries that well. I know Senator Schumer very well, so I say this with respect. Chuck and Hakeem need to go to Amazon, buy some testicles, and stand up to the moon wing of their party.
I thought I would ask you, Ryan, you can get testicles on Amazon?
He's just kidding. You can't really go buy testicles.
Have you tried?
I can't say that.
You act as if you know that you can't.
You can't go buy testicles on Amazon. If you
How
take
would you
any
know?
way, that's the title of the hour
How would you? No, it's not.
on the podcast.
No, it's not.
It is now. You can't buy testicles on Amazon. Everybody knows it.
No.
Yeah.
Senator Kennedy is joking.
No.
And it comes across well. It's political satire, and it's very poignant.
The takeaway here is that apparently Ryan Wiggins is emphatically aware that you cannot buy testicles on Amazon.
Not real ones.
There are no follow-up questions. There are no follow-up questions. There are no follow-up questions.
Take the pitch.
We will now somehow transition to Hans von Spakovksy. What'd you book him on? What are we talking to Hans about?
Anything
specific?
Nothing specific.
Okay. I'm going to talk to him about government shutdowns then, and I want to ask him. We keep hearing the OMB director saying, like, oh, there are some opportunities that might open up here to the executive branch, the OMB, to make some effective issues on where money goes to spend. People can get fired and then rehired as opposed to furloughed, all of this stuff. Let's ask Hans what he's looking for in a government shutdown. And I'll dip into a little bit of James Comey with him as well. Hans von Spakovksy on the show next.
I wanna know, have you ever seen rain coming down Sunday?
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. You got a basement issue and you need someone to come look at it. I incredibly endorse and support Matt Hayes and his expertise and just like genuine good guy nature to come help you figure out what the problem is and offer you a solution, and then you can decide, yeah, Home Shield Foundation Repairs earned my business. Call them at 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. And you can learn about, I've talked a lot about the leveling of the concrete at your home, indoor, or like around your garage foundation, if it's indoor, something like that, in a structure, and it's cracking and it's becoming unlevel, you've got a big problem. You need to have it looked at. But also indoors with your basement. If you have water, if you have leaks, if you have moisture coming in, you need to have somebody who is a professional who's going to respect you in your environment, respect your hard-earned dollar, come in and give you a quote, an estimate, give you an understanding of what the problem is that you need to fix. That's Matt Hayes, and that's Home Shield Foundation Repair. 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to Settlements and Verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Fry, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. It's Thursday, October 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering if your 401k and IRA will last through your lifetime? Do you have your own personalized structured income plan set up? The markets are hitting all-time highs. Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your gains without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss the last event of the year.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, at the Frontenac Hilton Thursday, October 2nd at 6:30. Go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com. Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
The White House and the president in this position. And if they don't want further harm on their constituents back home, then they need to reopen the government. It's very simple. Pass the clean continuing resolution and all of this goes away. We would not be having these discussions here at the White House today if not for the Democrats voting to shut the government down. This is an unfortunate consequence, and the president and Russ Vought will be meeting on that later today.
We the people of the United States,
More perfect.
your form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovksy.
Oh, Hans, good to have you back on a Thursday afternoon. Thanks for being with us today.
Sure, always happy to talk to you.
So I wanted to get your thoughts, your constitutional expertise on this government shutdown. Obviously, there's a lot of politics that have gone into the moment to get us where we are. But while the government is shut down, I continue to hear the OMB director, even from the president and the administration say, hey, if the government is shut down, that there can be some decisions that are made about things that are traditionally funded by the government, like firings, where instead of a furlough, if you get fired, then they can rehire whomever they want. Does that sound, am I getting that right?
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about that is that several of the public employee unions who represent federal employees, they already filed a lawsuit claiming that the president can't use lack of funding to fire federal employees, which that just seems like a totally ridiculous claim, isn't it? If there's no money there to pay somebody, why in the world can't you fire them? I mean, I think it's a frivolous lawsuit, but it shows you how desperate they are to prevent that. And I've never seen as smart or clever a counter move as this president has made. Because, look, I've been in Washington for 2 decades. We've had government shutdowns frequently in the past, but never, ever has a president, particularly a Republican president, said, oh, okay, yeah, Democrats, you're not willing to approve a budget. You want to shut down the government? Well, I'm just going to use that to fire all these federal employees for whom there is currently no money.
So you're saying it's a savvy move by the administration, but also what I'm seeing is, I've heard Speaker Johnson repeat many times that this is a clean CR. I've heard the Democrat leadership say this is dirty pool that they're trying to, the way they're not negotiating. Can you explain to us a little bit, just, the power of the purse is one of the greatest assets that Congress has, being very close to the people. What is this CR? If you're looking at what the Republicans are trying to do here versus what the Democrats are trying to do, how does this play out constitutionally to get us to the place where we can pass all of the final 12 bills that need to be done?
Look, there's a real simple way for folks to understand this, even though the budget is enormous. What the Republicans are proposing, a CR, continuing resolution, means funding for all government programs and government agencies will continue exactly as it currently is. No increases in funding. And what the Democrats have been pushing for is they want all this extra funding put in. They want funding put in particular, for what the Biden administration was doing, which got cut out recently, funding for health benefits for illegal aliens. That was cut in prior budget deals and by law, and the Democrats want that restored. So they don't want the current funding levels continued as they have been. They want more money put in, and basically it's for funding health care for illegal aliens. That's what this whole thing boils down to.
Hans, this is Ryan. I have heard the president say that one of the reasons that they don't want a shutdown is because, well, shoot, this is a lot of our priorities that now don't have funding that we just passed in the big, beautiful bill and all that.
Right.
What exactly cannot be done that the president wants to get done that, he has to wait until there's funding for?
Well, what's his biggest priority been? It's been enforcement of our immigration laws. And we've had huge numbers of federal law enforcement agents, not just from ICE, but from many other departments, getting involved in helping to do that. Well, they're still out there working, doing this, but they're not getting paid. So that is a problem. I really feel for example, ICE agents who are not only getting assaulted and shot at in all these liberal cities around the country, but now they're not getting a paycheck. And that does hamper efforts that the president is making. Also, remember, they've been trying to restore the wall at places along the border that the Biden administration, where they took it down or refused to install it. That's also going to stop while there's no funding for government programs. Now, people need to understand necessary work continues. So people will still keep getting their Social Security benefits. They'll still keep getting pension benefits if they're veterans. That does not stop even during a government shutdown because of federal law that says that has to continue.
We're speaking with Hans von Spakovksy. I'd like to shift gears here just a little bit and ask you just your thoughts where we are right now. I think the last time we talked to you, maybe James Comey had been indicted at that point. But he comes out and he says he's ready for a trial and he's innocent. Do you feel like that story, it seems like these things kind of pop up and it soaks up all of our attention for a minute and then they kind of go by the wayside. They're going to be hearings, subpoenas, and all that type of stuff. How is that effort by the Justice Department right now progressing, even when it's not the lead story? You think they're going to get to the bottom of this, and how long does that take before we get the next big story?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean, we do know that the president has not been shy about this, and that when, for example, the acting U.S. attorney in Virginia was not going forward with the investigation indictment of James Comey, the president replaced him. So he's clearly pushing, and people understand, the people who work in the Justice Department elsewhere, that they've got to move along on this. And look, they are having all kinds of information come out. Look, something that just got buried is, remember, 2 weeks ago, the Senate released information they'd gotten from the FBI showing that Jack Smith targeted like 100 conservative organizations with secret subpoenas to get, for example, their bank records, including, of all things, the Republican Attorney General's Association. That was one of the most outrageous abuses of federal power I have ever seen. And that only came out because this administration is saying we're going to disclose the things that the Biden administration was doing.
Hans von Spakovksy speaking with us right now. One last question with you about the judiciary, of course. Fox News is reporting that lawyers for President Donald Trump have asked the Supreme Court last week to review the legality of his executive order ending birthright citizenship. We know we got a ruling on kind of surrounding the idea of birthright citizenship, but not defining exactly what birthright citizenship was before. Fox News says it's a high-profile and controversial order that, if enacted, would have profound impacts on the lives of millions of Americans and lawful U.S. residents. What is your thought on this Supreme Court case, and what kind of judgment will the Supreme Court, what kind of question will they have to answer with this particular case?
Well, the key question is going to be the citizenship clause is in the 14th Amendment. Remember, that was one of the post-Civil War amendments that was put in. And the key thing for them to look at is going to be the legislators who passed that amendment, 14th Amendment, in Congress. What did they mean that, what did they intend that provision to mean? And I think if they actually look at that history, they'll find that the later interpretation of it that started like in the 1940s that, oh, yeah, everybody born in America is a citizen is wrong. That was not the original intent of it. And I think if the Supreme Court does that, actually looks at the original intent, they will rule in the president's favor.
So this version of the birthright citizenship question in front of the Supreme Court could lead to a ruling on the definition of what birthright citizenship, according to the 14th Amendment, what that actually means.
That is exactly right, yes.
Oh, man. Do you think, in your opinion, Hans, that, let's say the ruling as you have articulated there, that they could see it from the initial intent coming, as part of the 14th Amendment, the way the legislators intended it to be versus how it was interpreted later in the 20th century. Do you feel like that will have a retroactive application to people in the United States? Like, what do you do if that's defined that way? What happens to people who have had birthright citizenship under the current interpretation?
See, I think retroactivity would be too difficult to enforce. And I think if the Supreme Court actually comes out the right way on this, what they'll do is say, this is the correct interpretation from the date that this decision was issued. So, yeah, I don't think it'll affect people before the Supreme Court's decision, but going forward, I think it would. That's the easiest way for them to handle it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it would be up to the Supreme Court to determine the validity of the citizenship for people up to that point, or if the president could potentially, offer an amnesty order or something that would say up until this point, but from here on out, we're going to do birthright citizenship this current interpretation way. It seems like crazy situation.
Yeah, but that's basically the way his attitude has been. I mean, he's telling the State Department to issue or not issue passports based on his interpretation of the 14th Amendment. He's not telling them to go back and revoke passports that have already been issued to people under what he thinks is the wrong interpretation of that clause. So they're already acting going forward, not retroactively.
Well, we will wait and see. When will that ruling, when could we get that ruling? June?
The only thing we know is it'll be, the deadline will be June of next year. Otherwise, we never know when the Supreme Court is going to issue a decision.
Oh, how exciting. Hans von Spakovksy, we appreciate you. Thanks for being with us again today.
Sure, thanks for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye. Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. That's going to be wild. That is going to be a wild moment in the news cycle.
It is, because it's something that we all know is coming. A lot of times news is just so sudden. You go, oh my gosh, but that's one we're watching for. That question legally is such a big one. And the other one is, and it's not quite related, but it's in the same category, I would think, is counting illegal immigrants in the census. That may end up at the Supreme Court too. Those are two really big issues that we could see what did he say? June was the latest?
Well, it's June's the end of June is always when we kind of get that big dump of rulings, but they could come before that. They just have to have it done by then.
Right.
I hadn't really thought about it until I was having that conversation with him. Like, okay, so if you determine what it is, what about the people who have lived their whole life? You know, like I would call those like the ultimate DACA people, not the people who were brought here when they were young, unassuming, and have lived their whole life here. I mean, you've been told you're a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a citizen.
I wonder if they would be grandfather. I mean, I don't know.
That's
what
that. Yeah, that was the question to him. Like, what happens to those people? And he said that the president has never positioned this as if there would be a retroactive behavior done.
Yeah.
And my question to him being, does the Supreme Court make a ruling about what birthright citizenship is and a ruling about what happens next? Or does the president sign an executive order essentially pardoning, I would assume, pardon's not the right word because those people I don't think you could say were committing crimes if they were born here, and that's always been the interpretation since the, you know, air quotes anchor baby idea has been part. So it's not like I wouldn't call that. I think those people are very different than those individuals who have come over here knowingly shirking the system. But in my opinion, that's definitely something that if I were the president, I would get ahead of. I would answer that question sooner than later. Say we're talking about everything going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a break. Wiggins America next. Ryan is going to tell us about things that we won't need soon, and we're going to agree or disagree. Is that right? Is that what you said?
Well, agree or disagree and see if you actually think you won't need these things.
Okay. Let's take a quick... What?
We're just going into the third segment.
Okay. Well, Wiggins America will be whenever we get to it.
Yay.
Which is really unlike any other day. We'll be right back.
Appreciate those nights and those dreams.
I want to talk to you about the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. These people. I was thinking that it's just so nice to be able to, if you want something really nice, first and foremost, you want to buy quality. You want to buy something that's going to last. What is more timeless than great jewelry? So when you go to and make an investment like this, there's definitely emotion attached to it always. Even if it's something you're buying for yourself, you might be celebrating something. And you might have, scored a big payday and you want to mark an occasion or something. But when you go invest in something like fine jewelry, you got to have a relationship with the people who are providing you that product because you want to trust that it's the top quality. You want to invest in something very nice. Let me tell you why the Diamond Shop has been in St. Louis incredibly successful as a family-owned and operated business since 1910. It's because when you walk in the door, you're not a budget, you're not an upsell, you're a mom, you're a hopeful fiance, you are a dad or a son, or you're just somebody who's come in who's got this thing on their heart, and you want to put it into something that somebody can wear around their neck or on their ear or on their hand. That's how they see you. And that's how you become a business that can be here for over a century. And the Diamond Shop has done that time and time again, especially with my family. They're in Clayton. Go visit them online at thediamondshop.net.
Have you been notified that your subsidy for Obamacare health insurance is going away? Well, you can leave now while you are still healthy and can qualify for much better individual plans. Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com has been helping people get affordable health insurance with great coverage for over 35 years. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan by you, not the government.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, The trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
I love the variety of responses we're getting to this question. How do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? Here's Ron, who says thoughtfully, I believe it was a funny joke. To think otherwise is silly, but I did check the not helpful as my vote. It's both funny and not helpful. Then right afterwards, Jackie
super
says,
thoughtful.
That's what I thought. Right afterward, Jackie says, absolutely hilarious. So those are the different ways you could respond, and many others. Depending on how you respond to this question, how do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? It's the YouTube live chat poll of the day. It is 12:40. This time check is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From Festus to Freeburg, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Stop me on the corner, swear you hit me like a vision. I wasn't expecting, but who am I to tell fate?
What was the story you said you wanted to cover?
Oh, it was just one from the New York Post, real quick, if you want to.
I forgot what it was, honestly.
You did, didn't you? You sure you want to do this? Kid alert.
No. My kids are off school today.
Oh, are they?
There's a New York Post story about what is a drag queen?
Yes. Yes, that's part of it. The name of the drag queen is the problem. Well, you know what? It's all a problem.
Everything about this is fine. The name's questionable.
I'll read it without the name.
Okay. Yes.
Harvard hires drag queen named blank blank as visiting professor. Visiting professor.
Does it say what she's teaching?
Expected to teach a class on the TV show RuPaul's Drag Race.
College is different. Harvard is really different.
It's just for the spring semester, though. That's why he is a visiting.
What is the lamest, most mail it in, I need a credit class that you took in college?
Badminton.
Did you really?
Oh, heck yeah.
I took golf, bowling, personalized shape up.
Wow, that had to be boring.
Walking.
I couldn't even do those. I was like, I at least have to play a sport or something.
I know, but they would tell you to like walk on your own time. You didn't have to go to class.
That's nice.
And I was like, I promised to walk today.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I think it was 1 credit hour. I think I took 18 credit hours one semester, and I had media law, media critical theory, 2 of the backbreaker classes that people can struggle to pass. Oh, basketball. I had basketball that semester too.
Man, you had a lot of sports and
it was a summer
stuff.
It was a summer, and I needed those 2 classes to graduate, to finish my degree, like my bachelor's in communications, and then I just needed some more credit hours. And I was like, why would I better myself in other intellectual studies? I'm going to play basketball. And I did. And I was able to hang.
Did you have to take any written tests for those?
For what?
For any of the sports?
I don't recall.
Because we did. We had to take a written test for badminton.
Let me air some grievance here. I worked 3 jobs most of the time through college, including 1 year I was a resident assistant, which was actually really difficult work because it was so time consuming. But in my effort to get media law and critical theory, which required an enormous amount of studying and learning, like not everything I took in college did, personalized shape up was one of the classes I took there. It was a first year Teacher, but not teachers. What do you call the
teacher assistant?
TA.
But they could teach classes, right?
Yeah.
It's personalized shape up. He was probably trying to get a kinesiology degree to be a physical, I don't know, a trainer. And so I'm like 100% fully, honestly, like mailing it in. I just want the credits at the end of the semester. I'm going to take walking and basketball. But I'm also having to apply myself. You're not supposed to really take media law and critical theory at the same time because they're pretty intensive.
Obviously.
But I got a B in personalized shape up, and it put me at a 3.49 GPA. And I didn't graduate cum laude because of that freaking TA who was on a power trip. And if you're listening to this show right now, I'm talking to you. Because the first test that he gave, there's like a lot of tests. The first test that he gave, there were like 75 people in this class. And you were basically supposed to create a workout, and then you were supposed to do it, which I was doing anyway. Maybe not as structured. But he gave a test. He graded it on a curve because the highest grade was a C of like 75 people in this class. I don't think he'd ever written a test before. And that, man, I got some Chuck Schumer words to say
That's amazing.
about this. And I was so mad, and I like pled. I was like, can I do extra credit? No.
It's not the exact same circumstance, but very similar. That I had a class that I thought, this will be easy. I ended up getting a lower grade than I thought I was going to, and then graduated at the exact same grade point average as you, 1/100th of a point away from cum laude.
I was a sneeze away from cum laude.
Yes, me too. Exact same thing.
That's brutal.
Rage!
I was mad. Yours is worse than mine because I was just kind of mailing it in on one of the classes because I thought it was easy. But that one's even worse.
I was mailing it in because it was supposed to be easy, Mr. Teacher Assistant or whatever your name is.
Only thing I remember was that I could not call that birdie a birdie. It's a shuttlecock. and you would get doxxed if you did.
Speaking of things the FCC won't let us say. Birdie.
That was the name of the professor at Harvard.
Everybody's been waiting. Nope.
Professor Shuttlecock.
Yeah. Everybody's been waiting for Wiggins America, which I preemptively promoted. We'll discuss on the break whether or not Wiggins will be back after this break. Stick around to find out. We'll be right back.
25 years of 97.1 in St. Louis. Here's Jimmy Fallon.
Danny Fry, Mark Cox. I mean, you guys have a stacked deck. You got that Jimmy Fallon guy later in the day, but you know what? You drink a little bit at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. You'll get through a show. Congrats on 25 years.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service and Environmental Resources. At Hansen's, we manufacture a full line of garden and landscape products that are perfect for your outdoor project. Pick up any of our products at World Outdoor Emporium, Kirkwood Materials, or a Hansen's location near you.
When you go shopping, you may not get the bargain you want, but at least you know and can compare prices. It should be that way with healthcare, but too often it's not. Need an operation on your knee? Want to know what it's going to cost? Good luck. For 3 years, hospitals have been required to provide patients with list prices and have negotiated charges for some 300 services. Just over a third are fully compliant. In Missouri, prices differ greatly depending on a patient's insurance. The cost of a pelvic CT scan, for example, can be 20 times more expensive in one hospital than another. Price transparency allows patients to compare providers, forces hospitals to compete on price, and helps insurers negotiate lower rates. State law should require all healthcare providers to publish prices in a user-friendly form. What we don't know is costing us. The price of healthcare shouldn't be a secret. Check out our 2025 blueprint, Moving Missouri Forward at ShowMeInstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon.
important. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins! All right, these are things that are going away, and I want to see if, A, you think that actually will go away.
Ryan Wiggins.
Nope, not me. I just talked to HR, and they said, you're a gem.
Where are they?
Their words. Their words.
You're a gem.
You're a gem.
J-I-M.
Yeah, they think I'm somebody else. I'm like, as long as the
Jim, I
paycheck's
told you to
clear.
get out of here.
They think I'm a Jim. Anyway, these are things that are supposed to be going away in the near future. I want to see if you can live life without them or whether you will. The first one, wired chargers. As wireless induction charging becomes a standard for devices like phones and watches, you won't need to carry cords for every gadget. Cords.
Sometimes it's too easy.
Good or bad?
You can put your phone on a wireless charger next to your bed so that you can just set the phone down. You don't have to plug it in all the time. But if I'm laying in bed trying to read Twitter and watch sombrero memes like I was last night and my battery is super low, then I have to hold the wireless charger in my hand. Sometimes you need a cord.
Yeah.
I agree. Although, if you can get to a place where it's charging, if you're just near something, if it's not to sit right on it.
Ooh, I don't
that'd
like
be great.
the thought that I could also be charging at the same time.
Yeah,
if it's
that's true.
emanating electric pulses of...
Do you ever worry about where you keep your phone, like in your pocket or wherever?
Probably not as much as you do.
Near you. 'Cause I do. I think about, I always keep it in my right pocket.
Yeah.
And so am I going to get skin cancer there or something? Because it's always there.
Some people think you will.
And I take it out of my pocket while I'm sitting here for that reason. But I don't know if it's really doing that much.
For your right hip?
Yeah, so it's not sitting against my skin all day. The next one is passwords. They might be going away because they say biometric sensors on smartphones and laptops that use fingerprints and facial recognition are replacing the need to remember multiple passwords.
I use biometric stuff for all my things, and it's a lifesaver. I don't know my password.
I really prefer passwords to all the new stuff. Because it just drives me crazy. If your hands are wet, for instance, you go to put your fingerprint on there. It won't work.
Have you ever been laying in bed and you're laying there and for whatever reason, like your hand, like if you're holding the phone up and you're trying, this is me, I'm cuddled up under bed and I can't have a large phone. I can't maybe reach something with my thumb and I will push my phone with my nose. Have you ever done that? Nobody in here has done that.
I shift the phone in my hand.
I'd be honest with you if I had.
I know. There is somebody out there who has made something intentionally happen on their phone by using their nose to scroll. I have. I'm not the only one, but I'm probably in the great minority.
Does anybody else use their chin to close doors?
All the time.
Okay.
Chin to close doors.
Just making sure. Especially my trunk. I don't have an automatic one, so I'll use my...
Dudes, this is an X's and Y's question. Did dudes ever use their feet to flush a toilet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have, yeah.
All the time.
Ryan's like, I didn't know I could do that.
Explain why.
In public, I will use my shoe, like at a gas station or something. Yeah. I will use my shoe and I'll kick the little lever to flush it. So
just wash your hands. Just, you go from there to the sink.
I do that too.
I don't understand. I mean, I can see using your foot to open the door because you already washed your hands.
No, I'll do that.
Really?
Nope. I don't.
What's the point of washing your hands?
Well, everyone else that's opening that door has just washed their hands as well, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
That's not true.
I'm just so sick. Before I move on from passwords, I'm so sick of 5-factor authentication and blah, blah, blah. There's times I'm trying to log into something, and then to log into my email to get it into that thing, I got to do a verification to get to the email to get to the other thing.
Yeah, you know what I don't like? I don't like when you have the same password for everything, but then you're signing up for whatever new account, and it says, oh, but for this one, you have to have multiple characters, but you also can't have the same ones back to back or 3 in a row, and it becomes really intricate in that, and then you have to change it for one random thing. and then that you're just setting it up for that password to get lost.
That's
what I
every
hate.
time. Every time. Remote controls will be going away. Voice-operated devices like Amazon Echo.
Oh, that'll be fun when you have 6 people trying to watch TV and nobody has control of the remote.
Yep.
Everybody's just yelling out what they want to watch.
Little toddler yelling out constantly.
Bluey!
Yeah.
Volume down.
No, not Bluey. I'm trying to watch the latest episode of The West Wing.
I like how you can. You guys
my
have
9-year-old.
Any of you have the Apple TV?
No.
No. Brad does.
Yeah.
You can use your phone as the remote, and I think that's probably going to become more common. But that's actually really convenient. I like that.
You can do that with Amazon.
Can
Prime
you?
TV
Okay.
Too, yeah.
Another thing that they predict is going away, keys. Home security systems operated by smartphones and biometric locks are making physical keys unnecessary for homes, and they already are pretty much for cars.
Let's go.
Don't like that.
Love
Yeah,
it.
that'll go great. I'm sure.
There's
no issues.
Do you have a car that has a remote, not remote start, but like where you don't have to put the key in?
No, I still have to put a key in.
Wait until you do. Game changer.
You know what drives me crazy is when I rent a car and it has one of those. I'm not used to it, and so I'll put my key in the
There's just nowhere to put
cup
it.
holder?
in the cup
Yeah,
holder, and
cup
then I'll
holder.
walk away and it starts yelling at me, and I'm like, "What? It's not even my car. Wait, it is my car, but I don't know what to
It's
do."
not at the same time.
Yeah. Physical credit cards, mobile payment services such as Apple Pay.
Do you tap to pay?
I tap to pay with my credit card.
Ethan, you a tap to payer?
Sometimes my wife does it all the time.
You, Brad?
Not with my phone, no.
Oh man, I do it all the time. It's the go-to.
I just forget it's there.
Do the
I have my debit card and my credit cards and stuff all loaded up there. Then I have to carry less things.
Yeah.
Here's one I think we can all be very excited about.
I'm very confident.
Toilet brushes.
Oh,
Many predict that more sanitary and self-cleaning toilet technology could eventually make traditional toilet brushes obsolete.
I'm game.
Me too.
I would really look forward to not having to use my feet to clean the toilet either with the brush.
Barefoot?
You gotta hold the toilet brush with my feet.
Oh, you
It's
hold the
very
toilet
difficult.
brush. I thought you just meant you went
Yeah.
right on in there.
No.
he just cleans it with his bare foot. The last one, this is a little bit scary though. Checks and
That's
cash.
scarier than cleaning your toilet with your foot.
That's just jokes. These are just jokes. This one's for real. Checks and cash. Digital transactions are, of course, fast replacing physical checks and cash for many everyday purchases. I still like to use cash.
Cash is fine, but it's It's hard to keep up with because we don't live in a cash society.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't ever need to see a check again in my life.
Do you always carry cash though, even if you don't use a lot of cash? You always
Yes,
have
I
some?
do now because I got to get in all these kids' sports games.
$3.
I'm always like, hey, 2 of you kids are going to have to stay in the car. Can't afford this. I can't
I'll
afford
leave the
it.
windows cracked.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Leave the car
if
running.
you're good.
All right, let's talk to Chairman Jason Smith in the next hour, plus Joe Concha. Don't go away.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Well, as you know, I love going to Andrea's Steakhouse. Just did for my birthday. We try to go as often as we can because I love their steaks. Their steak sauce is what really sets them apart. You can get Andrea's steak sauce for yourself to bring home if you'd like to cook with it at Deerberg's or at Schnucks or at Andreas.com. But if you go to the restaurant like I like to do, they are expanding their menu a little bit. So they've got the traditional, you got gigantic prime rib and filet mignon, which I always get. But for October, they've got roasted carrots with brown butter and crispy shallots for a appetizer, entree of lemon caper chicken with orzo and braised pork. as just some extra options that they like to do. I think they like being creative, and so you can come and enjoy that as well. So if you've never been to Andrea's, you definitely need to go. Make it part of your next occasion. Visit them at andreas.com, or of course you can pick up that steak sauce and bring it home for yourself, which you absolutely should do, and cook with it. andreas.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis, and they get paid weekly. Available to eligible Medicaid members in St. Louis. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want to receive great care from a loved one, go to freedomcare.com, or for faster service, call 314-597-1749. 314-597-1749. That's 314-597-1749.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
On drug cartels. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Though President Trump stopped short of using the word war in a memo sent to Congress yesterday and just confirmed by Fox News, the administration says the U.S. is in a non-international armed conflict with drug cartels, which it has designated as terrorist organizations. This follows recent deadly U.S. strikes on what the Pentagon says were drug smuggling vessels in the Caribbean, at least 2 of them originating from Venezuela. Some Democrats have accused the Trump administration of exceeding its powers to use the military against cartels. The memo to Congress says the president has a responsibility to protect Americans, also citing national security. The White House warning of mass layoffs as a government shutdown continues. The president meeting with his budget chief.
We should get an idea maybe of exactly what agencies or what departments and what programs might be targeted from that. Now, the president following that up, poking fun at Democrats, saying, I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. Vice President J.D. Vance says the administration will have to take extraordinary measures to make sure the government operates again. All of it designed to add pressure to a clean CR, to get that passed, to keep the government open. A negotiation over the full budget could begin after that.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence at the White House. Democrats say Republicans are to blame for refusing to negotiate on their health care concerns before time ran out. What Delta Airlines describes as a low-speed collision on a New York runway remains under investigation. 2 regional jets colliding at LaGuardia Airport last night as one was preparing for takeoff to Virginia, the other arriving from North Carolina.
Right wing clip our nose and the cockpit.
That's air traffic control audio from liveatc.net. The impact damaging a cockpit, tearing off part of a wing. Only 1 injury reported to a flight attendant. The NTSB says it happened at the intersection of 2 taxiways. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Sunny skies as we go through our Thursday afternoon. It is warm for this time of year, 88. Tonight, clear skies, nice evening, 65 for the low. Friday, sunny, right back to 88 degrees, 65 Friday night. Saturday and Sunday, sunny skies, and 88 again each day. Full moon, the harvest moon, coming up Monday, October 6th. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
And the Democrats should know that they put the White House and the president in this position. And if they don't want further harm on their constituents back home, then they need to reopen the government. It's very simple. Pass the clean continuing resolution, and all of this goes away. We would not be having these discussions here at the White House today if not for the Democrats voting to shut the government down. This is an unfortunate consequence, and the president and Russ Vought will be meeting on that later today.
So Carolyn Levitt there saying it is a clean CR. The Democrats are saying no, it's not, that the Republicans are playing dirty tricks and dirty games. The Republicans are saying the Democrats are trying to fund illegal immigrant health care. What is the truth of what is going on right now over this government shutdown? Let's ask our friend, Chairman Jason Smith. He represents Missouri's 8th District in Congress, and he is chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. Congressman, thank you for being here with us today. It's always good to have you.
It's great to be with you, Annie.
Give us what we need to know. What's the truth here? Why is the government shut down?
Well, it's because of the 60-vote threshold in the United States Senate. If you recall, about 2 weeks ago, the House of Representatives passed a clean continuation of funding. What that means is what funding was on September 30th, which was just a couple days ago, the end of the fiscal year, it will continue as that same amount of funding for 7 more weeks to try to get where both sides can agree on a final budget appropriations. However, of course, the United States Senate has 53 Republicans, and you need 60 votes to end the filibuster, and the Democrats have continued to block the filibuster. They've continued to block a vote on the continuing resolution. The votes are there to pass it. They just won't allow them to ever get to a vote because of the filibuster and the 60-vote rule. And so it's important to note that when the Democrats controlled the White House, the House, and the Senate, when Biden was president and they controlled both chambers, 13 times they passed clean CRs just like this. What is on the floor is exactly what the Democrats voted for in March, whenever it was a CR for the rest of the year.
So it's a clean CR.
It's a clean CR. There's no bones about it. What you hear a lot of people talking about right now is what the Democrats came to the table and said, we will support this clean CR if you will increase spending almost $1.4 trillion. You will provide health care for illegals. You will expand a COVID-era policy to bail out insurance companies, and you will cut $50 billion from rural health care. That was their request.
I have a comment here from a listener who's taking in our conversation here with Chairman Jason Smith. They say, what are Republicans doing to get the votes in the Senate? So you're going to need some Democrat votes there. Is that Republicans' responsibility to make those negotiations to get this through? How's it going to get done?
Well, that's what Senator Thune is working on. You know, we did our job in the House. Of course, only one Democrat voted with us when we passed this clean CR on the House side, and the one Democrat didn't cast his vote until he saw that we already had 218, and he happens to be from a district that Trump won in Maine. So it's really showing a brave soul right there. And so that's what you have over in the Senate right now. You have Democrats that's saying one thing, that they want government to be open. They want to make sure that the military receives their checks, but they're not voting that way. What we're passing, the CR, is just a continuation of funding. It does not make sense that you eliminate all funding because you want $1.4 trillion in new spending. What they don't understand is it empowers the administration, which they hate. They hate President Trump, and President Trump will have so much authority in allocating the resources and deciding who's an essential employee, who's not an essential employee, and what programs need to be taken care of.
Chairman Smith, Jason Smith, with us right now representing Missouri's 8th District. So what you're talking about right now, some authority going back to the executive branch if the government has been shut down, is anything that the president can do now with what gets funded, what doesn't get funded, can anything that he implements be made permanent, or is it all undone when the government opens back up?
It absolutely can't be made permanent. It will be really hard for them to undo it, which it shows proof to me that they're not thinking. I mean, they hate anything that President Trump does. It's just if he said that oxygen was great, they would stop breathing. So, like, it's just how they manage themselves. And so it is unconscionable of how they're behaving right now.
Yeah, I want to kind of into the behavior and like what is the long-term plan here. I would assume that usually Republicans kind of have an idea like, all right, this is where the Democrats are going to want to get to. Let's see how they're going to have the ends justify the means. Fox News reports that former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi got into a sharp exchange with a reporter on Wednesday after being asked whether Republicans should negotiate with Congressman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in order to end the shutdown. And Nancy Pelosi snapped back and said, "Why are you saying such a ridiculous thing?" But I've seen AOC say, "Come talk to me." Is this rift between AOC and Chuck Schumer a real, actual, tangible thing for leadership in the Democrat Party right now?
The only reason why we're in a government shutdown is because the Democrats in Washington are catering to their liberal base, led by Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer voted for this exact piece of legislation in March. He prevented a government shutdown in March. He voted for it, allowed it to move forward, but then he got crucified by his liberal base because you were supporting Donald Trump and keeping government open, and AOC is looking over his shoulders. So in his rearview mirror, he sees AOC, knowing that if she challenges him for Senate, she can beat him in a primary. Nancy Pelosi is upset over AOC telling people to come visit because Nancy Pelosi is no longer the leader of the Democrat Party. She's just a 85-plus-year-old member of Congress that should retire, but you have AOC who's going to be the nominee for the Democrats, and she is the leader of the Democrat Party.
I mean, that is quite a sea change. It feels as though with AOC being what I would have considered, the squad originally being the far left progressive wing of representation in Congress, now kind of her having the opportunity to potentially step in the mainstream. I think there was a time where we would have thought that Chuck Schumer would have been somebody who would have been willing to be more moderate, to get the job done, to do the negotiation, to see some progress. Does intra-party, do you see people looking to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to take over and give it a fresh face?
The Democrat Party has really shifted in the last 10 years since I've been in Washington, D.C. myself. Nancy Pelosi was Speaker while I was up there, and she is viewed as a rarity in Washington. And what I mean by that is that the AOC wing has become the majority of the Democrats in Washington. They have been very successful in their Democrat primaries in winning these crazy members of Congress that are so extreme, such as Tlaib, such as Omar, such as Presley. You have AOC. There's numerous ones you could go down the line, and they have been recruiting these candidates over a long time, and they've been winning those primaries. And now they have the numbers in the Democrat Party, and that's why you're seeing the dysfunction.
Chairman, this is Ryan Wiggins. I was hoping you could help me kind of figure out what exactly the Democrats are negotiating for, or if they're negotiating at all, because I'm following the news cycle just like everybody else, and they seem to be talking about health care, but anytime Republicans say, yeah, but you're trying to fund illegal immigration, then they back off of health care, and that's it. I'm not hearing anything else they're trying to do. So what is it that they're trying to accomplish with this?
So they actually filed a piece of legislation with the CR showing what they do want in order to keep government open. It adds up with a lot of different items that would be about $1.4 trillion in new spending. The biggest items that they care about is bailing out the insurance companies that would cost roughly $400 billion. This was a COVID-era program that they did to expand Obamacare back during the American Rescue Plan and the Inflation Reduction Act. They are also proposing that we reinstate being able to provide Medicaid and other welfare benefits to illegal immigrants. They've proposed in the same piece of legislation to eliminate the $50 billion that's going to rural health care. It's crazy, but those are all items that's on paper. They can try to deny it, but this is what they have said. We will open up government if you do this, which is absolutely unrealistic. 77 million Americans voted for Donald Trump to be president. They voted for a Republican majority House and Senate, and their demands is like a party that is in control of power in Washington. It is so unfortunate. 8 senators can block it. I've been telling my Senate counterparts, you should be able to break a filibuster in a government shutdown to make sure that government's funded. All you should have to have is 51 votes. I would encourage my colleagues to change the Senate rules and eliminate a filibuster for something like this.
So it sounds like Democrats are pitching things that Republicans are full non-starters, and Democrats know that. Therefore, they're not really negotiating at all.
They're not negotiating at all. They're not being realistic. They're not coming to the table. Let me just tell you how much of obstacles that the Democrats have been putting in. Just 2 weeks ago, we marked up 9 different bills in the Ways and Means Committee, very bipartisan bills. It took almost 8 hours because all they wanted to do was to get attention on C-SPAN and to attack President Trump. When you added up those 9 bills that we passed, it was 420 yeses, 6 noes. 6 no's, but it took them 8 hours. They just tried to obstruct and block. They will vote against legislation, not that they oppose anything in it, but because of what's not in it. And that's what they're doing with this funding of government right now. They're not opposed to what's in it. They're opposed of what's not in it. And that is why they shut down government.
Last question for you. We appreciate your time today. We're speaking with Congressman Jason Smith. Do you see an obvious end in sight here? We've had these, I think, what was the last one, like 35 days? Could this go on for a long time? You think the Democrats will cave?
You know, I don't know how – I said this all along. I don't know how the Democrats view how they can get out of this. And they're going to be eating a lot of crow. They created this situation. I think it's going to last a while. I don't think it's something that's going to happen for only 2 or 3 days. I know some of my counterparts think that maybe in a week, but the Democrats are not showing any inclination that I have seen to the White House, to House and Senate leadership, that they're willing to come to the table in a reasonable fashion.
Do you think that means that the sombrero memes will continue to flow out of the White House?
You know, President Trump is a much different communicator than I am. And,
than most people.
Expect the unexpected. That's all I can say.
Well, that is a great political answer. I appreciate it. Congressman Smith, we are grateful for your time. Please come back soon. We love having you.
Of course. Good to be with you.
You as well. Bye-bye. Not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, I tried. It's nice to get a little personality out of these folks when you have the opportunity, and that was a good test of his character. I appreciate that answer from him.
It's also a realistic view of how this thing's shaken out, because it just doesn't sound like it's really moving. I mean, we can't see it from here that it's moving, and it doesn't sound like they see any movement either.
I mean, they've put themselves in a position that is uncompromisable. There's really nothing there to compromise on, and it would appear that means that the Democrats are going to have to just go, well, we tried, and then do what they could have done a long time ago, but in the process of putting their foot down and they're going to have shut the government down for some time, and they're putting the authority into the president's hands to do what Representative Smith was saying there, which is make some permanent moves.
Usually,
to who's in what position and what is funded.
No matter who's in the majority or the minority, usually the way these things end is the minority finds one thing and they go, that's our thing. We're going to try to get that one thing. And they start with this big list. Of course, it's what you do. And then you narrow it down. You realize you're not going to get much of it, if any. So you focus on the one thing and you go, this is what we have to have. But I don't even see that. They're not even to the point where they're whittling it down yet. Like he just said, they have this huge laundry list of things that they're clearly not going to get, and they're not talking to anybody about it.
We want to know what you think about the sombrero memes. It's really the most important question that we can answer here on the show. How do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? It's a funny joke. Doesn't bother me. Not helpful. Or they're shameful. Annie Fry YouTube channel. In the live chat, you can vote. We'll be right back. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Please visit their website and learn about the foundation repair and the basement waterproofing, as well as concrete lifting that is offered with the great team at Home Shield Foundation Repair. There are several different types of ways to waterproof a basement. So if you have gone through this process, maybe at a previous house, when you reach out to Home Shield Foundation Repair and invite Matt Hayes over to take a look at it, to have his team take a look at it, it might not be as big of a deal as you think it is. Or if it is a really big deal and you've got foundation issues, that's something that you really can't postpone and put off till later, because that's going to involve much, much greater expenses down the line if you don't handle the situation. So you call 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, and invite them to come out and give a comprehensive inspection of your basement. They'll very carefully assess the condition of your foundation, your walls, your floor, and they'll identify any existing water issues and potential risks that you might have. 314-227-9636, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
I can't win, I can't reign. I will never win this game without you, without you, without you, without you, without you. I am lost, I am vain. I will never be the same without you, without you, without you, without you, without you. I won't run.
Have you noticed that J.D. Vance has been made to be like the face of the shutdown? Like, he's out there. He's talking about it. He's the president of the Senate, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he's been the most vocal spokesperson for the Republican side.
He doesn't. He's just like a happy warrior.
He also seems unrehearsed, which is really nice. And he may be sitting in meetings and coming up with talking points. I have no idea how he preps, but he seems to just know his stuff.
He might just be really smart.
He might be.
I think he is. What did he get into? Yale? I think he went to Yale Law School, which is supposed to apparently be the hardest one to get into. I don't know. Where was that? Where's the drag queen at?
The drag queen was at Harvard.
Oh, Timu Yale.
Timu Yale.
Says me. I'm gonna get in big trouble.
Oh, you only went to Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
Go Cougars, SIUE, proud grad.
Yeah, go Cougars, go Harvard.
But I didn't apply to Yale because I knew I didn't want to travel.
I did apply to Yale because I wanted to be the vice president of the United States. And then I realized that's hard.
And look where you landed.
And so I came here.
Here's the vice president.
Okay, go ahead and ask the second question.
So the president's been posting some images of Leader Jeffries and Senator Schumer recently. You said that you're interested in good faith negotiations with these leaders, but what message does that send? Is it helpful to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun at some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And
there you go. There's the line. That's the negotiating line. Stop the sombrero memes. Open the government. Have you noticed societally that we are super soft?
Yeah. No, I haven't noticed that. Are we?
In every facet. Not like politics. Not in the sharing of politics. Not in the fact that we need to have the ability to have differing opinions in this country.
Man.
We're so soft.
We are. We've created an entire vernacular around it. I was listening to somebody yesterday talk for a long time.
Was it me?
No.
It's just talk
Although
for a long
I did
time.
listen to you talk for a long time yesterday.
Not the whole time. You asked me questions that I had just answered.
It was outside of noon to 3, and they were talking about their trauma and the way that they overcame it. It was all the buzzwords, and it was sad to me because it was, first of all, very narcissistic. It was very self-focused. And then secondly, they had adopted all of it as part of their personality. And it was so sad to listen to because they were talking about it in these good terms. Like, oh, I've overcome this and this and that and that. Mm-hmm. But it defined who this guy was.
Ethan?
Yeah. And I said, stop it.
Ethan will never, all he does is talk about being a victim.
He does.
He's usually a victim.
He's always the victim.
Of yours.
Well, that's true. Or vice versa. Sometimes I'm the victim of him.
Yeah.
But it was such a reminder that we talk to each other all day. We don't talk like that. Mm-mm. The people that I live with, my family, we don't talk like that. But there are a lot of people out there, they are in that mindset.
We also give each other a lot of crap.
Yes, we do. That's what friends do.
Yeah.
When I went out with my guy friends, like the trip we take every year.
Do you guys only flatter each other? Can you imagine being in a group of guys and just only compliment each other?
Look at this guy.
I'd be like, I'm super uncomfortable. I gotta go.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna try that next year.
You guys should all try it. And
that's gonna be great.
You know what they're gonna be? All compliments that are super sarcastic.
I know, but you gotta start real. Oh my gosh, that's going to be fun.
He's going to schedule a trip. It's going to be the nice trip. It'll be where we go to be nice to each other.
But I come home from that trip and my wife goes, "You guys, what's new with all these guys?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I have no clue what's going on in their lives."
Talk about it. No, like girls are like, "Hi, let's go sit down and talk. Let's get to the bottom of this. We're gonna solve the world's problems, but not tell anybody about it." Joe Concha next on Sombreros. We'll be right back. Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. That's the number to call. That's the number to text. Reach out to Stewie and talk to him about your mortgage situation. I see a lot of posts on social media about people like trying to get into the market to buy a home. They've seen everything that's out there and they're looking to see if anybody else has a house that they'd like to list, which means it feels like the market might be popping right now. It's probably because rates have dropped a little bit. That might be you. You might have been waiting to get back into the market because you were waiting for those rates to come down. This might be your moment. It starts with a conversation with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, because if you're going to sell your home, you're probably going to buy a home and you want the best deal on your new mortgage. 314-324-4440. When you Google the Bagel Loan to learn more about it, you'll find that new mortgage, even that mortgage refinance at your home, is going to cost you $0 in closing costs. A lot of times the punitive nature of doing a refinance is the fees. That doesn't happen with the Bagel Loan. There are no closing costs. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information. NMLS number 226715.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. At Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The team at Ricken Financial want to help you make educated and informed decisions about your retirement strategies.
Why not rely on individuals who can optimize your thinking and optimize your plan and optimize all the resources and show you what's all available to be able to make a truly informed decision?
Call Ricken Financial today, 314-207-6211 or online at rickenfinancial.com and join us for Kickin' with the Rickens Sunday at 1 p.m. here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Investment advisor products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
The YouTube live chat poll today is, how do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? We have a few options for you to choose from there, but you can always leave a comment like Betsy did. She says, doesn't bother me. I hear about these things, but only saw because of the show. I do think it's funny, though. Cool. That's cool. Let us know what you think. It is 1:32. This time check is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From the gateway city to the front lines of freedom. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Oh, what you know, Joe? I don't know nothing. What you know, Joe? Tell me something. What you know, Joe? Ain't conniving, just ain't jiving. I don't know. What you know, Joe?
That AI racist video of Minority Leader Jeffries wearing a sombrero, but also like celebrating that video, and it was playing on a loop in the briefing room today. What are you hearing from the inside about that?
It was not only just playing on a loop in the briefing room. If you've never been in the press briefing room, for those who haven't, there are loudspeakers overhead so you can hear announcements or what's being said, or if there's an event going on with the president in the Rose Garden, for example. They were playing that mariachi music as well over the loudspeakers for all the press that was coming in and out of the White House today inside the press briefing room. It just kind of gives you a window, John, into how they're dealing with this and how they believe they have the upper hand when it comes to the messaging here, and also kind of how things have changed from the first time Donald Trump was in office. I mean, there was a shutdown then. I remember all 35 days of it. As the president said at the beginning, he'd be proud to shut the government down, and then it ended, obviously, with him not getting the money for his border wall. This time, there's a moment here. They're being heavily criticized over these posts by the president, by Democrats, and instead of backing off or apologizing for it, they're leaning into it, and they're playing the music over loudspeakers and on repeat inside the briefing room because they simply don't care about that criticism.
Oh, what you know, Joe. Joe Concha, Fox News contributor.
So, Joe Concha, welcome back to the show. I haven't talked to you in a while. It's good to have you back here. Thanks for the time this afternoon.
Always, my friend. Boy, nothing to talk about today, huh?
All I want to talk about is sombreros. I just think this is so funny. They're really upset, not about shutting down the government and people going without pay, but Donald Trump's social media timeline has Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer in a sombrero. What do you think about all of this? Is it a problem?
Well, gee, I don't know. I've been alive for the last 10 years, and I could swear that all the people that are upset about this, starting with Jeffries, starting with Schumer, have referred to Donald Trump as a fascist, as an authoritarian. So I don't know, when you call somebody that after a while and he just wants to punch back in a hilarious way, you don't have the moral high ground here now, do you?
Amen.
So seriously, it's just so they're calling it racist. They're calling it, the fact that the White House is playing on a loop. You know what they actually think now? They don't care about the criticism.
Don't care.
They embrace it. They think they care that CNN is upset about this? That's a feather in the cap as far as they're concerned. I think the first term, they took this stuff a little more seriously. Now they're like, media has no influence. Everybody hates them just as much as they hate Democrats these days, if you look at the polling. So, yeah, if they're mad about it, we're doing something right.
Amen. Joe Concha speaking with us right now. His book is The Greatest Comeback Ever, Inside Trump's Big, Beautiful Campaign. You've written the book on this, but even going further past the campaign to win his second term, what these people have done to Donald Trump, what they have made up, what they have colluded, they have manufactured about him. If the worst that they get is a mariachi band in a press briefing room, they're getting off easy.
Oh, that's such a great point. Yeah, you're so right about that. Just everything that they have said and done over the years where, they took them off the state ballots. Do you remember that little gambit, Colorado and Maine? That was kind of funny. 94 felony counts. Yeah, they tried to put him in jail. Like, they realized that was the only way they could beat him. And then, obviously, 2 assassination attempts. I'm not saying Democrats were behind them, but certainly Democrats thinking people were, especially Ryan Ruth, who literally was quoting the Tim Walz of the world, saying that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy that must be stopped. He said that in his manifesto. And that's exactly what we've been hearing from Democrats for many years. And when some crazy guy hears stop, they mean with a bullet, like the one that took Charlie Kirk. So, I just think that I'm not even like shocked or surprised anymore with the way the media responds to this stuff, and especially CNN, who, went with the orange man bad meme for years and thought that taco was the funniest thing ever when the Eric Swalwells of the world were going after Trump for that. And how'd that work out? So, yeah, you all suck. What can I say? I've lost my mind at this point.
Yeah, we kind of all have. And we have a fatigue about it. But I think coming out of the fatigue, it's really interesting that how many people that I see being very reactionary towards the sombrero thing. Like, people are kind of willing to laugh at something that's funny again, but there's still that contingent of people who think it's the worst thing that they've ever seen. Like I said, while the government is shutting down, no, let's solve sombrero gate. It doesn't even make any sense, but there are people who are looking at this going, okay, that's kind of funny. And that's refreshing.
Refreshing is the only word that I would use now. And just 1 second there, because I tried to put. Hold on, I had to put you on speaker. Okay, now I sound a lot better.
Yes, you're good. You're good.
Got to get my kid at a birthday party. Who has a birthday party at 11 o'clock on a Thursday? Well,
holy cow. That should be like...
A kid named Louie does. Yeah,
is that like Pacific time? Okay, let me ask you, since you brought up being a dad, I want to ask you something about this. We were just talking about it in the segment before, kind of in the same vein of, being able to joke and being able to laugh again. I was asking the crew here, like, how soft is our culture right now? How soft are we in, the ability to kind of land a joke, to take a joke, to be able to laugh at a joke in front of other people without fear of being judged for it. Do you feel like we're soft, and do you feel like we're possibly coming out of that?
Back in the 90s said that we're a nation of wimps. We're snowflakes now at this point, and not we, of course, but primarily the left. And I think what has happened, we could talk about policy, until the cows come home, but really in the end, Republicans are the cool party now, right? They're the ones that you want to have a beer with or watch a game with. Before, it was supposed to be like stuffy old white guys, I guess was the portrayal, and Democrats were like young and hip and cool. And now Democrats are the angry, unhinged, not fun ones. And Donald Trump, and I don't know if you saw J.D. Vance at the press briefing yesterday, where he said, Caroline, I don't know how you do this. How do you remember everybody's names? And then he says, you, that's a nice shirt.
That's so relatable. That's so, it's like a real dude saying something that's not super polished and poll tested and everything. There's something about even Donald Trump that seems relatable to the American people. And I almost wonder if the relatability of Donald Trump is only in comparison to how unrelatable the Joe Bidens of the world. Like, what reality were we being asked to live in watching Joe Biden be the president of the United States? You wrote the book on that as well. But people look at our leaders now and go, you know what? I think they're real. I think they're real people that understand real issues, and I might lean towards that for now.
Yeah, can I tell you, when I was at Mar-a-Lago for New Year's Eve, and I actually got to sit at the president's table, which was
awesome.
Cool. When you consider like J.D. and Usher there, the vice president and the second lady, I'm calling him Jada, like they're my bowling team. So they're there, and Jordan Peterson's there, and Elon Musk is there, and Melania's there. And then we finally get a couple minutes with the president, and that was when I first got the cover sent to me by my publisher. It was only on my phone. Obviously, the book wasn't ready yet. And I showed Trump, the president. I said, so what do you think? This is the photo I decided to go with, and it's him waving goodbye to people going through the drive-thru at McDonald's.
Amazing.
He goes, I bet that you were pressured by your publisher to go with the assassination photo, right? Fight, fight, fight. I go, yeah, that's exactly what they wanted. They said, that's the iconic photo. I said, yeah, but I think what captured the campaign was the fact that you worked a shift at McDonald's, right? You're working the fries, you're talking to the workers, you're being, charming with the people going through the drive-thru. And Democrats in the same vein were calling you Hitler. And at last check, Adolf didn't work any, shifts at McDonald's. Like, how could you call this guy like all these horrible things? And then he does these hilarious things like the garbage man stunt, right? When Biden called everybody garbage. McDonald's. I mean, the jokes he told at the Al Smith dinner when Kamala didn't show up. Like, I remember this one. He goes, Democrats keep telling me that there are more than two genders. And I didn't believe them until I met Tim Walz. That's funny. I even hear like the producers laughing there in the background. That's the thing, man. And tell me like one funny joke that Kamala ever told.
No.
It doesn't exist.
She had Molly Shannon come on to mock Catholics at a recorded video at the Al Smith dinner. Give me a break. Like, gosh, you want to talk about tone deaf?
Food.
Let me
ask. In New York, and it got booed.
Yes,
that's when I knew it was over. I mean, I was confident for a while. I'm like, now it's done. If she can't win the Catholic vote, who's left? The childless cat ladies. Like, that's basically it.
Joe Concha speaking with us right now. When it comes to the government shutdown, of course, the right is fighting fire with sombreros and somehow imagining winning based on doing that. The Democrats keep saying that the Republicans are trying to play dirty tricks, and it just feels to me like the media that's been able to populate and propagate some sort of messaging successfully for the Democrat Party, it just doesn't click. It's like the Democrats, like the Schumers, the AOCs, or the Pelosi's of the world, are still playing by the same rules that they think that they've been playing and winning with a media that would lap up what they say. But for whatever reason, the American people aren't lapping it up. It's not effective, and it looks like they can't find their way out of a paper bag. How does the shutdown end for the Democrats?
I think it's a boy who cried wolf moment where they say just the same stuff over and over again about dictatorships, and Republicans want to shut down the government. At last check, they passed the bill in the House, okay? And it's now you can literally just shut the government down, or you could have this thing called a continuing resolution that carries on a lot of Biden stuff in it, by the way, and they chose not to, and they thought they could blame Trump. And I think this time the public's just like, I don't care that the government shut down. I really think that most people, I'm out and about like all day today, like, just talking to different people, and no one cares that the government shut down because they don't feel it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cry over a couple of government workers being furloughed? No, I'm not actually. And two, by shutting down the government, now Democrats have handed Trump the ability to pass all these things that they otherwise would be able to fight back against. So it's a stupid strategy. Schumer is a horrible face for this party because his own party doesn't even like him. And then you got AOC. There she is on, I think it was MSNBC, saying Republicans can come to my office and negotiate with me anytime. Oh, you're running the party now? I thought it was Hakeem Jeffries was a House Minority Leader. I thought Schumer was the Senate Minority Leader, and now you're going to negotiate one-on-one? Like, there is a big problem within that party. It's going to be fascinating in 2024 to see, like, who wins. Will Rahm Emanuel, like the centrist, if you want to call him that, does he end up winning, or does he get Bloomberg, right, where, they're going to laugh him out of the room because he's not left enough? Will it be Gavin Newsom, who's as phony as a $3 bill, or will it be AOC, who's probably going to run for president? I say she gets the nomination because she has the most energy behind her, and the media will choose her to be the candidate because she's a woman of color, and she's, a woman, and she says a lot of provocative things. So, yeah. And if she ends up getting the nomination, if you're a Republican, you were so happy because she's not going to run to the middle like Kamala tried to, where she switched all of her positions basically. She's going to run far left. She's going to go full Mamdani, which works, I guess, okay in New York. It's not going to work in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, all those swing states, North Carolina, Georgia. That I do know.
Oh, my goodness. Last question, and I know you got to run here, but you're a New Jersey guy, right?
Oh, yeah, right here, right now.
Is there going to be a Republican governor in New Jersey after this election?
Yes.
Yes!
You see how quickly I answered that?
Yeah, I always say
all the momentum right now.
I'm in Illinois, and I'm like, if New Jersey can have a Republican governor, maybe Illinois. I mean, that's a tall order, but I'm watching New Jersey.
Crazy.
I'm crazy. I am crazy.
No, I'll put it this way: Biden won by 16 points in 2020. Then Trump only lost by 5 in 2024. So that's an 11-point shave. We've had Republican governors this century, believe it or not. We have Chris Christie. We had Tom Kaine way back in the day. So it can be done. And Jack Ciattarelli, who's running here, Annie, he only lost by 2 points to Phil Murphy, to the point where Fox, we admittedly were not prepared that night to even talk about New Jersey because we thought it was so far gone. So if he was that close that time against a sitting governor, he's going up against like our version in New Jersey of Kamala Harris. Like Mikey Sherrill is that bad. And this cheating scandal isn't going to go away. The fact she couldn't even walk at her own graduation, that's a big problem. And then obviously she made $8 million in stocks and can't explain how it happened. I'm sorry. I think that Jack wins this in a very close race, but, polls are showing more and more that this race is definitely tightening. I think Real Clear Politics has it under 5 points now, which tells me probably tied.
Oh, it's exciting to watch, and we're pulling for it. Joe Concha, I knew you'd have the insight on that. Thanks for being with us. Have fun at the midday birthday party in the week. That's wild. I hope it's a great one.
I guess it's a Jewish holiday, so I figured, all right, it's a good day to do it because everybody's off from school. So there
sense.
you go. They're cutting the cake right now, as a matter of fact. All right, I'm coming in.
Talk to you
I'll
soon.
see you later.
Bye-bye. Joe Concha, a mile a minute, Fox News contributor, being a dad, doing all of the things, writing the greatest comeback ever. That's the name of his book. Inside Trump's Big Beautiful Bill, Big Beautiful Campaign. The Big Beautiful Bill is something else. That's what happens when I stop reading and I just keep talking. This is such a great book. I did the audiobook on it and listened to it, and Joe reads it, and it is so good. It's a great Christmas gift if you're starting to do your Christmas shopping. I've done some Christmas shopping myself. Get that greatest comeback ever and just enjoy the ride once again, over and over if you so choose. It's fantastic. All right, Ryan, get back in here. YouTube live chat poll. How do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? It's a funny joke, or doesn't bother you at all. Maybe you think it's not helpful, or maybe you think they should be ashamed of themselves. You can tell us on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. We'll be right back.
Just ain't making it, I don't
Join us October 23rd at Lit Cigar Lounge as we celebrate 25 years. Enjoy drinks from Lore Wine and Spirits, Old Dominic Distillery, and Rayburn Wines, plus live music by Pretty Weeds and more. Tickets at 971talk.com/events. Presented by Rhino Shield and U.S. Men's Medical Center.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me, makes me cry.
Now that you've heard it, what are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed early bird specials $49.99. That's right, Weight Loss Seminar, Saturday, October 18th at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration at 1:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
When you work with a home improvement company, you want to make sure they are recognized as one of the best. Mark Cox here from my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They just received the Big 50 Award. That's featured in Remodeling Magazine to honor the top 50 remodelers in the country, to recognize the industry's best and brightest. Now, a little bit about Chesterfield Fence. They've been around for 56 years, since 1968. Under the same ownership. You're invited to their showroom in the Chesterfield Valley, or they'll be happy to come to your house, give you a free in-home estimate at absolutely no obligation. If you want a new pergola, you want a new sunroom, of course, the fences and decks that they have are outstanding, and they will design them to your specifications in your backyard. Now, right now, mention Mark Cox, get a special discount of 20% off your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Check him out online and tell him Mark sent you. It's chesterfieldfence.com.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We're going to have a party. I'm pretty excited about this.
Do you know why we're having a party?
Yes.
This station is turning 25 years old this month.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
It is, for a conservative talk radio station to last that long is pretty cool. And being able to be a part of, we just said this a little bit earlier in the show. Have you been with 97.1 since
2018, so roughly 7 years.
Brad's been here since 2021. I've been here since the very beginning of 2009. I basically got here when Barack Obama got inaugurated. So I've been here for 16 years plus. And watching the arc of this station and you folks as listeners of this, just to kind of see how we've ebbed and flowed, because the personality of the station, we've had amazing people associated with the station for the time that I've been there, even preceding it. Like we used to have Glenn Beck on and Laura Ingram. And I remember when I was working at 590, I was in sports talk for 3 years before I did this. I would take a lunch break. At 590, by the time I left, I was doing about 3 full-time jobs worth of stuff, but my desk was the front desk. So I would buzz people in. Is it Don King who is the wrestling guy? Or
yeah,
whatever?
The promoter.
Don King kissed me on the mouth one time.
Oh, that's a new story.
Walking into, I've told this before, but when I was working at 590, I was supposed to be the person who would buzz people in, and he came to do an in-studio hit for something. He was promoting something. But I was walking past my desk at the time, so there was no one to buzz him in. And so I physically opened the door for him, and I was like, "Hello, Mr. King. It's great to have you here." And he just kissed me. He's like, "It's great to be here." I was like,
"Oh my gosh."
Okay.
Was this normal for Don King?
I guess maybe this would have been mid-2000s, so
we could get away with a lot then.
I think it was a different time, but I did so much stuff there a lot of busy work. I did a lot of commercial production. Like I would voice commercials and stuff, but I wasn't on air or anything like that. And I interviewed for my job at 97.1, which was the digital brand manager position. So I was in charge of all things digital, the website and everything. I was a part of the support team. For probably a year before I interviewed for that position, I would go to lunch and I would sit at Webster Groves Park. And there's a beautiful park out there. And I will still go back usually at the end of October, the beginning of November. It'll be cold, it'll be rainy. And there is this stunning tree, beautiful big tree, has the biggest yellow leaves. I don't know what kind of tree it is because I'm not a tree.
It's a hydrangea.
It's not. I know it's not that. That's like a bush. But when you know that like fall, that autumn rain where everything's kind of cold and drab, but it gets on the wetness of the rain gets on the bark of the tree and it turns like jet black, but the trees are electric. The leaves are electric yellow.
Yes.
And the tree is just beautiful.
That's coming soon.
Well, I know, and I'm glad I'm talking about this because every once in a while I'll forget about it. But I will still go back to look at that tree because I don't know if I ever really told this part of the story before. I would leave for an hour and lunch from 590, and I would go because the station at the time was in Webster Groves, right on the other side of the block of Emo's, assuming Emo's is still there. I would go sit at that Webster Groves Park, usually get lunch, and sit there and eat lunch in my car, and I would listen to 97.1 for an hour. And it was usually Bill O'Reilly into Sean Hannity, I think, depending on what time I took my lunch break. And I just thought it was kind of like I felt like it was kind of like a secret. Like there's this 97.1 thing and they think like me and they talk like me. And I was in my early 20s at that time. And I would just go, like, I felt like, I hope that you as a listener right now feel like listening to the station, like I have this corner. These are my people. This station exists and it succeeds because there are other people who need their lunch break or if you're driving around in your car because you're in sales or deliveries or whatever it might be, like all kinds. Business owners, blue collar people would just listen in. And this was in the mid 2000s going into an election campaign. And I remember when Barack Obama ended up winning, I remember listening to all of that coverage. I remember listening to Sean Hannity after that. And it made a huge imprint on me. And when the opportunity presented itself to interview for that digital brand manager job, which I was completely not qualified for, thank you, Jeff and Tony, for hiring me. I went in and just was like, I'm a 97.1 person. Give me a chance, I'll learn everything. And thank God they took a risk on me. But I think that spirit still exists. And I think about all of the roller coaster turns and tumbles and loops that we've been through since I was sitting in the Webster Groves Park listening to this station. All of the things we've been through, like Trump was a nothing at that point. We were at the genesis of whatever hope and change was. We're celebrating 25 years of being here for you in St. Louis. I'm so blessed and honored to be a part of it. I'm glad you guys are a part of it. And we are hoping to fill this party with people just like you and celebrate in October 25 years.
Come to the party. It is on the 23rd of this month, and you can find out more 971talk.com/events. You can RSVP there for free, or you can get VIP seats. Either way, we'll all be there, so we're just inviting you to come hang out with us and be a part of the party.
Mitch just tweeted at me on X and said, Annie, I know that tree or several of them by Blackburn Park. I'm going to go Google that right now and see if that's the right park. And I got to go this season. I'm so excited about it. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more.
A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents.
New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star 5-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area, this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912. 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
AirComfortService.com. That's the website for everything you need. HVAC, heating, cooling, insulation. You go to Air Comfort Service, you're going to be treated with the utmost respect, and you're going to get great service. I'm a customer of theirs, and I certainly can say that as somebody who's experienced it myself. If you want to call them directly, 314-513-0091. You can call them for a free estimate on a whole home air purifier that can help relieve or eliminate allergy symptoms, pet dander, bacteria, viruses, odors, more that might be plaguing your household. Air Comfort Service can come in and solve that problem for you, and it all starts with a free estimate, so you can know what you're getting yourself into, what they can do for you. If dry air has caused itchy skin, static shock, bloody noses, we get those in our house, especially in the winter, you can stop having to use those room humidifiers and get a whole home humidifier, so you don't have to deal with it all of the time. Air Comfort Service has your comfort zone covered in all sorts of different areas. You can trust them. I certainly do. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
They're putting it in writing. Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Trump administration says the U.S. is in an armed conflict with drug cartels.
A memo sent to Congress says the action is consistent with his responsibility to protect Americans. The Trump administration says it's in a non-international armed conflict with drug cartels, which have now been designated as terrorist organizations.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on Capitol Hill, where some Democrats have accused the administration of exceeding its powers by using military force against cartels. This after deadly strikes in the Caribbean on vessels traveling from Venezuela. A deadly attack outside a synagogue in Manchester, England remains under investigation after a man drove his car into a crowd, then began stabbing people, killing 2, seriously wounding 4 others on Yom Kippur, the holiest day on the Jewish calendar. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer called it shocking, and he says the man attacked Jews because they're Jews.
Additional police assets are being deployed to synagogues across the country, and we will do everything to keep our Jewish community safe.
Police say it was an act of terrorism. The attacker was killed by officers, but 2 other suspects were arrested. After pressing some universities to crack down on anti-Semitism and withholding grants, the Trump administration wants colleges to commit to certain policies in exchange for more federal funding.
The White House asking officials of at least 9 universities to sign a compact for academic excellence in higher education. The document includes requesting colleges accept the Trump administration's definition of gender, applying this to all campus bathrooms, locker rooms, and women's sports teams. It also asks schools to stop considering race and gender during the admissions process and to require undergraduate applicants to take the SAT or ACT. Signing it would give those schools priority access to some federal grants.
Fox's Christian Goodwin, the universities of Southern California and Texas among those who've received it. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Severe from Vicks.
Sinex Severe Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Severe instantly relieves nasal congestion and works 6 times faster than nasal decongestant tablets. The 12 hours of relief allow you to get back to the moments that matter without congestion.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it! Try Sinex Severe from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Sunny skies as we go through our Thursday afternoon. It is warm for this time of year, 88. Tonight, clear skies, nice evening, 65 for the low. Friday, sunny, right back to 88 degrees, 65 Friday night. Saturday and Sunday, sunny skies, and 88 again each day. Full moon, the harvest moon, coming up Monday, October 6th. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new furnace, get Carrier Cool Cash rebates and 0% financing so you'll be nice and cozy as the weather turns. For a free estimate on a new heating system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The government's still shut down. Democrat Senator Coons on party's shutdown strategy. He's talking about this right now. He's kind of like, he seems to be like the guy they send out when everything needs to calm down.
And he goes on Fox News, which is not very normal for a lot of the Democrats.
He seems like he'd be a nice guy.
Yeah, he always has been. He just seems like he's left of center.
How long do you expect this shutdown to last?
A while. I can't give you a date, but I don't think this is going to be quick. I just hope if we get out of this by the end of October, I'd say that's a win. And we're at the beginning.
What do you want to have happen?
Trump has played this so smartly that I really don't think there's a bad outcome here. Because if it stays closed for a while, then he can start trimming the federal government fat, which is great. And it'll be more obvious what that fat is when they're not working and things still work. So that's a win. And that's part of why people elected Trump, was to go in and gut things. And this kind of helps him with that. And we've always said, like, oh, yeah, it's people. So, it's people's jobs. But at the same time, it's your money. So while they are losing jobs, they're also saving your money. And that is a big, big deal. But I also think the opposite side of this is we're in a new place with media right now than I think we've been ever. Because the mainstream media used to control the narrative for Democrats on this so much and so heavy-handedly.
Yeah, the Democrats didn't even have to do anything other than come in and agree with them.
They didn't have to do anything. They knew they were going to win going into a shutdown no matter what. And it doesn't feel that way this time. And I don't know if that's Trump or the media landscape has changed or all of that together or what. But it does feel like this time they're trying the same methods. They're doing the same thing they've always done, and they're just not able to do it.
Doesn't it feel like they're like confused that it's not working?
Yes.
Like the way that they are fighting this battle is not one that looks like it has an obvious out. I think it's not terribly difficult to try to figure out, okay, this is what these people are trying to do. And you watch and then you see, I'm always thinking, how much are the Republicans going to give? They could give up the whole farm. They could give an inch. Compromise is going to happen. At the end of the day, usually everybody's got something to complain about and make a new campaign ad about. But, one of the questions we had from a listener earlier is, what are the Republicans going to do to get these other votes? And I'm like, what if they just don't?
Mm-hmm.
If the government stays shut down, maybe that's what they do to get the votes. and then the Democrats just have to own it. I don't feel like the Democrats ever truly own this. And I don't feel like right now in the media that anything is sticking, making the Republicans own this one.
I don't either. The Republicans' message right now is very strong. It's that, look, we passed a Biden-level continuing resolution for spending just to keep things open, and you won't even pass that. That's a winning message for now. But at some point, they're going to have to transition into negotiation and how we're going to actually pass a budget. And I don't want them to give a whole lot to Democrats because what Democrats are asking for is ridiculous. But I also don't want the Biden-level CR to be the base. That I don't want the message to become, well, we passed that and they won't even pass that, and so we negotiate from that. No, actually, you need to cut it from that. And my fear is that we message on this too long, and then that becomes the mean to
At
which
the end
they
of the
regress
CR,
to.
they're going to have negotiations about these appropriation bills. Which what did Boss said? He's like, we got 70-something% of everything done.
Yeah.
But the other part is the part that never gets done.
Yeah.
So, do we end up doing more CRs in certain places? Probably. I'm prepared for that for sure. But the more the Democrats hurt themselves during this process, I think the less leverage they have going into the negotiation process where it actually matters. Like right now, essentially what is happening is everybody in the government is saying we need to hold our breath for 7 more weeks. It's not over, but we just need to tread water for this much more time. And then when that's done, we'll have a solution. We'll have a way out of this. And the Democrats are saying, no, we want everything right now. It's like you have no ground to stand on. You're not in a position to be making these demands.
And this is what they've always done because they could get away with doing that. Even if they're in the minority, the media would say, well, Democrats are trying. They're putting out the olive branch and Republicans aren't doing anything. And it just doesn't work now. And I don't know why that is, but it's not working. And that's good.
I think it has a lot to do with how much, like we ran the poll the other day. Do we care if the government shut down? It was a pretty big chunk of our listening audience. But then we've had guests since then say people just don't seem to care.
Of that poll that we ran, you said you're highlighting that was 37% of almost 300 people said that they didn't care.
Yeah, they just don't care that the government shut down. And so I don't know that the Democrats can even stir anybody up because people are like, don't you care the government shut down? And people are kind of like, no, don't care.
It is a boy who cried wolf scenario. This happens so often that, every 6 months to a year, if the government shuts down, people start to go, oh, well, I survived the last 10 of them. I think I'll be okay, so it kind of becomes noise.
I am enjoying watching the Republicans enjoy this. Joe Concha said this in the 1 o'clock hour. You can listen to that on the podcast, which you can get on the Odyssey app if you so choose, or anywhere else podcasts are available. That watching the Democrats just flail here and watching the Republicans be able to laugh about this, that the Republicans are the cool party right now. And, I don't think Republicans are cool because they're Republicans. I think the Republicans are cool because the Democrats are so miserable. They're so miserable. When I think about associating with the people who are on the left, they all look miserable. I don't want to overstate or inflame, but they do not look like I'm not like they look like they'd be really fun to hang out with. I don't think that we would talk about fun, happy things.
Republicans are cool because Democrats are the establishment now.
Yeah. They've been successful long enough that it's the baseline.
It's changing. That's changing. Obviously, Trump in the White House and Republicans control Congress. But the major institutions of America for the last 2 decades have been controlled by Democrats. And so when you are the establishment and somebody comes in like a wrecking ball and is like, I'm a punk rocker, like Donald Trump, that is attractive to the next generation because the next generation always is anti-establishment to their core, even if they don't know what that means. It's just what it means to be young.
Yeah. It'll be wild to see how these next few months go because while we can, air quotes, ride the high of whatever it is that the Democrats are trying to do right now and losing at it. The government is still shut down. There are people who are still not being paid. Very good, good contributing members of society who are on the bench right now because of these actions. But then add to that we're going to get to the point where we have to get to the appropriations bills, and there's going to be intra-party fighting once again, just like we had with the big, beautiful bill. And President Trump was able to shepherd across and get it done. I think he'll be able to do it again. All right, let's break. When we come back, Ethan Sports and Local is going to break us into everything that's happening here locally, probably head up with some sports. And then we got Trisha coming in at 2:30 for Annie, Are You Okay? Looking forward to that. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You fool me with your kisses. You cheated and you schemed. Heaven knows.
Ruler Foods is where you can save on your grocery bill. It's rulerfoods.com if you want to learn more than what I'm going to tell you right here in about 60 seconds. You can find the Ruler Foods that's closely located to you by throwing your zip code in on the website. They are in Missouri and they are in Illinois, and they're ready to meet you. Go buy Ruler Foods and say hi. You can also, from their website, schedule a delivery and have all of the wonderful savings that you can stack up at Ruler Foods shipped directly to your door. As fall is setting in here, Ruler Foods wants you to know that Kroger ready-to-serve soups are just 2 for $3. Classic tomato or chicken noodle, only 69 cents each. If you're craving something gourmet, grab Panera 16-ounce soups for $4.99. Love the broccoli cheddar, personally. And don't forget that Kroger saltine crackers, you can add those into your pantry for just $1.99. Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices, so the savings are always reliable at Ruler Foods. Remember, you can have them shipped directly to your door as well. rulerfoods.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, IGotFloor.com.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
With conviction and clarity, The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Ethan's Hard Left Communist News with Pinko Persman.
This one we did.
Oh, yeah, that one we did do that one. Yeah, my apologies. I thought that was a new one today.
Your apologies because you called him a commie pinko and that you repeated it? Or not
No.
that you called him?
His apologies for calling me that back-to-back days, when in reality what he thought was going to happen was it was probably going to be the exact same thing with a longer name. Pinko Punzo Persman.
Careful.
Yeah.
No, I'm not apologizing for any of that. I thought I uploaded a new one today, and I didn't.
Thank you, Ryan.
You're
We're all
welcome.
shocked.
Exciting news coming to St. Louis Lambert Airport. Yesterday, British Airways officially announced that a new direct seasonal flight service would be getting underway soon from St. Louis to London.
Wow.
Starting on April 19th of 2026, British Airways will begin the seasonal service from Lambert to London Heathrow Airport, connecting St. Louis travelers to one of the world's largest global hubs.
You know what they call you in Britain? A bloke.
Me? Specifically.
Yep.
And what does that mean, Ryan?
I don't know, but I am a governor.
I think you... Wait, what?
Yeah.
He's a governor.
I think you should take a direct flight using British Airways to London and get that information for me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say stay there.
I was waiting for it, too.
I was, too.
Give me the one way.
He just wanted to send me on a vacation. Okay.
I missed an opportunity.
Thanks.
British Airways will operate 4 flights per week. Officials say the new nonstop service will provide customers with greater access, premium service to the United Kingdom and beyond. Also interesting, industry research and Pure City benchmarks show that nonstop service to Europe could generate between $50 million and $100 million annually for the metro economy.
Love me some direct flights. Have we confirmed whether or not that Southwest is going to offer direct flights from St. Louis to Iceland? I know they're going to start going to Iceland.
I wasn't aware that I was supposed to look into that, so
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for you.
Could you maybe just look that up right now?
No, I'm
and we'll just sit in silence until you find it.
working on something else.
Okay.
Actually.
I'm pretty sure that last year, was it Frankfurt? I think they announced Frankfurt in the last year or two as well. So a couple of different spots in Europe now.
All
that
the
you're
way
able
to Georgia, huh?
The region's best catfish angler will be crowned in Alton this upcoming weekend, and the chance to acquire a hefty cash prize along with it. The Alton Catfish Classic.
All right.
Set to kick off on Saturday.
Who in here eats catfish?
Oh, I do.
Wouldn't say it's a normal
Brad
thing, but I'm
is
not
kinda
against it.
half-raising it.
I'm never
How do you
like.
how are you half?
I never
into-
seek
kinda
it
have
out.
to.
Like, I never seek it out. I don't go to a restaurant and go, ooh, they got catfish,
Yeah.
and I order it. But if I'm at a
cookout.
get-together,
I didn't ask you if it was your favorite food. It's just who eats catfish.
I'll eat it, but
You don't. I know that.
Heck no, I don't eat that.
Why?
she doesn't eat any fish.
No,
What's wrong with fish?
I don't like it. What's wrong with you?
I don't like myself.
Ethan, don't let Ryan rub off on
Don't
you.
do that.
I eat nothing.
No.
Ryan or Ethan, I don't eat anything out of the water.
Anything?
Not a single piece of seafood of any kind.
What if you did?
I'm going to spend the rest of the hour
a
trying to
fruit
think of
snack
something in the
in a
water.
lake.
What about water chestnuts?
You're going to try to persuade me to eat air quotes seafood by eating a lake dipped fruit snack?
Yeah, or a bonbon.
I don't
But you
think
got to
that's
dip
gonna
it in a
work.
lake.
No.
Just any lake?
No.
Yeah, because she said she wouldn't eat anything out of the water, and I'm trying to find
No.
something very
What does
enticing.
it find as a lake? What if it's like a puddle? Does that count?
Who eats out of puddles?
Yeah.
Listen, we're all about hypotheticals here. on
What
the
if
Andy
you
Fry Show.
what if
That's
you
we do.
found
This is a perfect
an
example
old
of
piece
X's
of
and
bread in a
Y's. We are
puddle?
not the same. What are you talking about?
Fine. You're not going to eat bread puddle?
How long, here, X's and Y's, interjection here. How long can men do this with the what if and then fill in the blank here before someone goes, this is really dumb?
5-6 hours.
Oh, yeah. Every bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easily.
Let's talk about foods you
What
eat out
are
of a
we,
puddle.
2:20, probably 9, 10 o'clock tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I bet I could
Homemade
carry into the
sourdough
morning.
toast.
Could wake up in the morning after a full
Is this the
conversation
Manny
all
Fry
day.
show? When I'm not here, is it just like, what if?
At 2:20 it is.
I'm not in control.
The event will kick off this upcoming Saturday at 4 a.m. and is scheduled to run through
That's another thing about
3:30 in
fishing.
the afternoon.
Yeah.
I gotta do it that early in the
I
morning.
hate doing stuff early or late.
When do you like doing things, Ryan?
Right now.
He's like a retiree.
How long is the window?
Dinner is at 3. I can tell you that. You know what? Because you brought that story up, the best catfish, I will seek out catfish. It's at Diamond Mineral Springs in Grant Fork.
There is a deep cut, and if people don't know what you're talking about, they should learn.
That place is awesome.
I'm one of those people.
It is so good.
Does
The
not
pie
know.
is fantastic.
But
also, go to the back porch, which is attached to it, and find dining and great
I have
food.
never eaten at the back porch there.
You need to take your wife. And
Every
buy
time
her
we
flowers.
go there all the
No,
time.
you-
We just sit in the main dining room.
You go buy your wife flowers, no reason whatsoever. Take her to the back porch, and you're gonna be good for a year.
No,
Where's the back
She gets
porch?
dead flowers and puddle bread. because of you.
And you.
And me. Makes me look good.
I forgot about your expectation setting.
Why is it bread?
Policy.
Puddle bread. It's like the worst food in water.
Because you got to keep expectations low. You haven't been on this show long enough. You got to keep expectations low.
I'm pretty sure his expectations are pretty low, Ryan.
They're at rock bottom.
Good night.
The winner of the event will receive a $20,000 prize if at least 75 boats sign up. Now, if it's under 75, I got nothing. There's nothing about it.
Ryan will pay it.
We'll take it from Ryan.
What's the entry fee? Because I could sign up enough boats to get pretty good odds on the $20,000.
The entry fee is $500 or $520 if paid by credit card.
So there's a credit card fee, eh?
Mm-hmm. 20. Maybe you say you'll cover the credit card fee. How about
I
that?
draw the line there. Can't do that. That's crazy.
Moving on to a little bit more of a serious story here. Recently, a custodian was placed on leave and charged by the St. Charles County Police Department after writing racist graffiti in the bathroom at Francis Howell High School. The disturbing graffiti with racial slurs and references to sexual violence was discovered last week and discovered by a student before it was very quickly removed. The custodian, Tyler Carter, was arrested and charged with second-degree property damage and harassment motivated by discrimination to frighten or disturb. When asked about it, he said he was tired of cleaning graffiti left by students, and, in quotations, he targeted the African-American community because he believed the graffiti had been left by individuals of that ethnicity, end quote.
Then he's just going to have to clean up his own graffiti. Bad move.
He's being held currently on a $50,000 bond, and of course, the school district is, condemning this act in every way possible. The interim superintendent, another interim superintendent, Annie, put out a statement, and so sad situation.
Mm-hmm. $50,000.
Making it known. Okay. On to the next one. This one came out a couple of weeks ago, but we didn't have the opportunity to talk about it, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So I figured that I would bring it up. One of Missouri's GOP U.S. Senators, Eric Schmidt, and several other local members of the U.S. House have reintroduced the Gateway Partnership Act, which is legislation that would allow the Gateway Arch National Park to enter into a cooperative agreement with the Gateway Arch Park Foundation to improve management and host some private events. Now, obviously, with the government shutdown, I imagine this is probably on hold right now. But they mentioned that last year, projections showed that about $780,000 could have been generated from private events annually, such as partnership, which is what the legislators had reported. The Gateway Arch Park Foundation, which led the $380 million City Arch River project, reports that demands for access to the space are continuing to grow. This makes sense to me. Like, why would you not take advantage of this? It seems like easy money. It is right, the heartbeat of St. Louis, the Arch, and the opportunity to, get more people down to that area.
Have you ever been up in the Arch, Ryan?
It's been a long time. My son really wants to go.
How old were you? Adult?
Yeah, I was a young adult.
Have your kids gone?
No, I don't think they have.
Ethan, when was the last time you were in the Arch?
Ooh, I was probably 11, 12, so
Brad?
It's been a long time.
I want to say probably like 2018. I remember it was pre-COVID because my friend came up from Georgia.
Oh, I wonder what percentage of St. Louisans have never been in the Arch.
Have you?
I went when I was 6 months old. I was told. I have no experience.
It's actually one of my earliest memories when I was 3.
Really?
My uncle took me. Yeah, I can barely remember it.
I don't have any desire to do that either.
When you go up
You know
there,
what my worst nightmare
you can
is?
see further.
Eating catfish in the Arch.
There's a catfish restaurant up there.
I've heard. That's why I won't go.
Hot dogs and catfish.
Puddle bread.
Guys just
The hot
walking
dogs-
around yelling.
Are the catfish? Do they need to be caught by hot dogs? Can't you catch a catfish with a hot dog?
I don't know. There's not a
Yes.
lake up there, Annie.
There is a puddle, though.
Ryan, do not insult me with suggesting that part is the ridiculous part.
you catch a catfish up in the top of the arch?
I know. I just said, can you catch a catfish with a hot dog?
I mean, hold on. Let's think about this for a second.
Oh,
if you
here
have,
we go.
If you have
What
if you have enough fishing line, 700 feet worth at least.
Yeah.
You could technically make a real nice cast into the muddy Mississippi.
No, you can't. The windows, if they open, the wind is pretty bad up there.
Yeah, but if it's going
Right,
toward the river,
not
you're
about
fine.
the windows.
You gotta throw.
We'd have to bust open
even
the
if you-
window
no, I'm
first.
saying,
Hey,
even
wait
if you
a second.
busted a window open.
It's October. Are the lights back on?
Yeah, they should be.
On the arch?
The migrating birds have
Remember
migrated.
when the arch had to turn the lights off so they could pay their Ameren bill?
I saw another story recently that said that I guess there was an area of Southern Illinois where people were being encouraged to dim their lights in the evenings because of this same reason.
Expensive, because of the birds.
Migrating birds.
Not because of my smart remark.
I walked out yesterday in my driveway, and there were birds migrating, but they were real low. They weren't high, and they were loud, and they were going every direction. And I'm like, these are the stupidest birds I've ever seen.
You
They're
didn't get
clearly
concerned
migrating.
at all?
I was gonna say, did you get scared like you did with the raccoon? Did
Don't
you
you
like,
feel like that's
it's migrating
apocalypse?
birds?
No, I wouldn't do that with migrating birds. If the birds were in my trash can at 3 a.m., I would.
Oh, gosh, there's that tone again. That's ridiculous, Ethan. Tone.
But let me say something even more ridiculous.
I've got a concern. All right. You good? Annie, are you okay next?
Sounds good.
Ethan, are you okay with Annie? Are you okay next?
Ethan is okay with Annie. Are you okay?
Well, then we shall take a break.
Next.
Trisha's coming in. Annie, are you okay? Is the next segment. Go vote in the YouTube poll. How do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? We want to know your thoughts on it. You think it's a funny joke or it should be ashamed of themselves? Got a few other options there. Let us know how you feel. We'll be right back.
My room around 10. Baby, bring the lemon and a bottle of gin. We'll be in between the sheets till the late a.m. Baby, if you wanted me, then you should have just...
The Retirement Advisory Group online at retirementkey.com. We have an event tonight, and I have not been told that I can't tell you that it's okay to come. So tonight is the last one of the year. The Protecting Your Retirement educational event starts at 6:30. I'll be there at 6. And I would love to meet you. That would be a great honor for me. So if you hurry up and call 314-993-9494, tell them Annie sent you, and we'll squeeze you in. Bring some friends. Maybe your night freed up and you didn't expect it, and now you can come 6:30 to about 7:15. Maybe is when they get done talking, and you'll be able to listen to Thomas Helbig, Bob and Tammy Kershaw explain to you how you can ensure that you have a personalized structured income plan set up, that you understand exactly how your 401k and your IRA are going to last you throughout the course of your retirement. Are you ready to retire? Is it time? They have answers for your questions in this free event, which comes with snacks, and I'll be there. Mark Cox and Mark Reardon will be there as well from 6 to 6:30, meeting people ahead of time. Would love to see you. Reserve your spot at 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Online at retirementkey.com.
Hey, y'all, this is Maggie Freeling, host of the new podcast, Up and Vanish Weekly. Tune in each week as Payne Lindsay and I are joined by other true crime experts to take a fresh look at some of the most puzzling crimes and shine a spotlight on the cases that have stumped investigators for far too long. So go right now and search Up and Vanish Weekly in your podcast app to follow the show. Listen for free wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And you know, your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
Mark Cox was just talking about the Lit Cigar Lounge. That is where our 25th anniversary party is going to be. This is where you guys cheer in the studio.
Yay!
It's a party! You can get VIP tickets to this party. It is on the 23rd of this month, October 23rd, Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield. So you can get VIP tickets or you can RSVP either way at 971talk.com/events. It is 2:33. This time check is brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Born in the Midwest, built on common sense. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Oh, it's Trisha time. Hi, Trisha.
Hi, Annie and crew.
How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Great. I just couldn't really be better.
That's awesome.
Totally believable.
I'm doing okay.
Good.
He could be better.
You could be. You're all right.
Getting a little hungry. Cottage cheese time is in about 30 minutes.
What?
So weird.
Cottage cheese time.
Protein.
Yeah?
And milk.
Oh, gosh.
I do love cottage cheese, but
See?
it's gross to talk about.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's fine.
No, I mean, it's fine.
Normalize cottage cheese.
Normalized cottage cheese. Let's talk about it more.
Okay, doctors say stop taping your mouth shut while you sleep.
Ooh, this is controversial.
Social media has popularized taping your mouth shut as a hack for better sleep and reduced snoring. However, doctors say studies around mouth taping are limited and there are risks. Some of these risks include making sleep disorders like apnea worse or even causing suffocation. One sleep doctor at Emory University says if you're concerned, just get a sleep test.
Suffocation.
So, like, just
they're
don't
really worried about that.
automatically tape your mouth shut. Maybe just talk to a professional before you do it.
That's the advice. Yep. Are you okay with snoring?
If you start to suffocate when your mouth is taped,
You know what you shouldn't
you
do?
don't think you're going to go, I think I should take this off.
You know
Not
what
if
you
you're
shouldn't do?
asleep in a deep sleep.
Your body will wake you up if you need air.
What it's probably like those
not-
if you use sleep aids, like you take a sleeping pill at night or something.
Oh, it really knocks you out.
Yeah.
You shouldn't tape your partner's mouth shut.
That's very good advice.
That's considered murder.
And we're done. Next.
Assistant
I
teacher.
have no control over this segment.
I don't either, for what it's worth.
I know.
Assistant teacher arrested for allegedly stinking up his school with fart spray.
I saw this, and I'm like, this is going to make its way onto the show, and I'm not going to bring it, but I was going to wait to see who brought it first.
That's
Trisha or Ryan?
Almost
Here
the
we
perfect article if they remove the word spray.
Just stinking up with bad farts.
A 32-year-old South Carolina assistant teacher has been arrested on charges he knowingly sprayed his school with a substance that smells like poop, sickening students and causing more than $55,000 in damages.
What?
It would seem he dispensed the substance over a nearly month-long span, leaving school officials mystified as to the origin of the foul odor.
It's the long con.
This is a crop dusting for
Multiple
ages.
people got sick. Annie, are you okay with fart spray?
No.
That's a great question,
Who
though.
in here is okay with fart spray?
I didn't know fart spray existed.
I'm
now
pissed
guess
that
what's going to
Trisha
happen.
just brought it up.
Yep. For the next month, every day, you're just going to get a little bit of whiff of something.
So
that's
instead
gonna
of
get worse
just
and worse.
assuming that you're farting in the studio every day, which I do.
Uh-huh. Yep. It's going to get worse and worse because I have to acclimate you to it.
Oh, God.
It's like gaslighting with fart
It's just
spray.
gassing.
It's just
Gaslighting.
gaslighting.
I am.
No on fart
I don't
spray?
want anybody in my life to know that this exists, especially you.
$55,000 worth of damage? I guess, does it stay around that long? Is
I
that
guess,
why?
and
Well,
it
they
got
were
in the
trying-
HVAC system, and
They were
the
trying
whole
to.
thing.
They fixed a whole bunch of things to try to rid the smell, Why was he
doing it?
Why was he doing it?
This article did not give a motive.
There's got to be a motive. There's got to
It's
be.
funny. That was his motive.
Sir,
Can almost guarantee it.
why did you do this? If his answer is it's funny, it's not funny now, sucker.
I'm hiring that guy.
For what?
I don't care.
For what?
He's got the right motivation. Is it funny or not?
Oh, gosh. Shame on you.
California police pull over a self-driving Waymo for an illegal U-turn.
A self-driving Waymo?
Waymo, those taxis, that self-driving cars.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, they're everywhere on the West Coast right now.
Yeah, they're like an Uber just without drivers. Waymo's its own company.
Okay.
Police were perplexed when they pulled over a Waymo taxi after it made an illegal U-turn, only to find out there was no driver behind the wheel and therefore no one to ticket.
And then they played the sound. Da-na-da-da-na.
And sprayed a little of that fart spray.
You've lost control.
The San Bruno Police Department wrote in a now viral social media post that officers were conducting a DUI operation when a self-driving car made the illegal turn in front of them. Officers stopped the vehicle but declined to write a ticket as their, quote, citation books don't have a box for robot. They contacted Waymo to report what they called a glitch.
Well, I'll be, Andy. There isn't even a driver in that car.
There's a DUI checkpoint, and it's like, nope, not going there.
Annie, are you okay with U-turns?
Yes, I am. I will use a good U-turn. Where was I recently? I used a U-turn. As long as it's not posted. I mean, if it's posted, no U-turn. What is the Missouri and the Illinois law on that? Because different states have. I know Florida is pro U-turn.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I really like trying to pull off the Q-turn. Oh. That's in a roundabout. You end up going right back down the street you came from.
A tricky maneuver.
It is a tricky one because the other drivers are like, what's this guy doing?
There's usually a statue in the middle of the roundabout, so idiots don't do that.
They need to put less statues there.
Or like goalposts. It's good. 3 points. Annie, are you okay?
There it is.
Popular Monopoly game returns to McDonald's next week. Boom. McDonald's has announced its Monopoly game is coming back for the first time in nearly 10 years. This starts October 6th. You'll have to download the app to play the game. You can pre-register from now until the 5th and get a 500-point bonus. Then, beginning on the 6th, you can order over 30 menu items that will have a game piece on the box. Scan in the app and reveal a prize or collect digital property pieces.
That's Monday.
He's our correspondent.
And live from McDonald's.
We should just do the show from there.
Okay, everybody, let's go around the room. When was the last time, Brad, that you ate McDonald's?
2-3 years ago.
Holy crap. Trisha?
Friday.
2-3 years ago.
This morning,
Hours.
wasn't it?
I already know this story.
Hours.
You saw me pulling into McDonald's this morning, and then you told everybody.
Well, I'm doing that now.
Yeah. And there was a meeting.
Is it a secret? Yeah, you didn't go to the meeting.
I didn't go to the meeting because I wanted McDonald's.
Trisha said you were.
I was not invited to that meeting. This is a subject of a lot of discussion off air.
It's on your calendar.
Busy getting some McGriddles.
That's exactly what I was getting.
What did you get?
McGriddles.
Did you really?
2 chicken McGriddles.
Did you really?
Yes.
It is Thursday, Mr. Added Sugar.
I know. I also have a sugary tea right here.
He's
breaking all the
crashing.
rules.
I'm breaking all the rules man, you go theme park and it is like, I got to get my caffeine hit because I can't get through the week.
That was
I'm
last
so
week.
tired. I know.
That was last
But
week.
I'm still tired.
When did you fly home?
Sunday night. And I'm still tired. You know how it is.
No,
You
I'm
do
good at it.
50,000 steps a day.
30.
I do 50
I'm not as good as you then.
because I don't sleep. I keep walking right through sleep. And then it gets to 50.
And you keep talking.
We should tape his mouth.
Oh, I'm up for it. I got the
Can't do
tape right
that.
here.
That's murder.
He's not even asleep. Don't worry about
Doctors
it.
don't recommend it, but
You can't do that. That's murder.
Where are you at? Where's the hit?
I don't know.
You okay, Annie?
she has another question.
Oh.
Annie, are you okay with Monopoly?
Not really.
What about a McDonald's? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's have a little fun.
But I don't really eat at McDonald's. I'm trying to think of the last time I had McDonald's. I cannot remember the last time I had McDonald's. Often it will be, not often, not even weekly, but they have a bundle. Do you know about the McDonald's whatever bundle, something or other?
I know Charter does that.
Couple.
What?
The only two people in the history of business to bundle McDonald's and Charter, which is now Spectrum, I might add. It has been for years.
You asked me.
Charter's like, God, that must have been some good marketing.
Little tip: if you don't go to McDonald's, you can get free pieces by digging through their trash.
Are you talking about chicken?
No, on the cups and stuff.
Oh,
People throw away
Monopoly
their cups
pieces.
sometimes. Yeah. Not free pieces.
Is that what you were doing there?
No, I wouldn't do that. That's gross. I was telling you could.
You
if
don't
you
have
wanted
standards. It's free meat.
I will not go to the McDonald's on Tucker and dig through that trash. I promise you. But you can.
Hard pass. I was going to say McDonald's has a bundle. It's like 20 chicken nuggets and a couple cheeseburgers and a bunch of fries, but we can feed all the kids on it, and it's $20.
You can feed all of us on it on Monday.
I'm not feeding you.
That's a shame.
I literally said in the meeting today that you eat like a possum.
See? I knew this had come up in that freaking meeting. You were trying to deny it. You were trying to deny that you made a huge funny bit in our meeting with our boss about me going to McDonald's before work. Like, that's just such a weird thing.
I was going to say, Steve wasn't there, but I forgot Steve's boss, Becky, was there.
The big boss was there.
Don't call him big.
The large boss. Hi, boss.
No, beautiful and tall and capable.
Oh, the capable boss was there, as opposed to our boss, Steve.
Steve, he's in Florida. Thank God. Really, it's good for all of us that he's in Florida. No chance he's listening right now. I don't know what we're doing.
Are you good with Monopoly or no?
McDonald's Monopoly.
Yeah.
But I don't know how I will find myself. You know, can you still get a Monopoly piece on a large drink or something like that?
Yes.
The number one thing that I will do a drive-through McDonald's for just myself is a large iced tea.
Treat yourself, girl. Good. Get that Monopoly piece. What happens if you win a free fry then? Will you just throw it away in the trash and I got to go dig for it?
Darn right. I throw in the trash and I tell you.
I'm not digging through there for a free fry.
Yeah, you are.
Maybe I will if I knew it was a winner.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a break. Are you guys good?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what I'd call it.
We're capable. We're large. We're big. We're high.
That would explain it. Oh, we'll be right back.
Both been sound asleep. Wake up, little Susie, and weep. The movie's over, it's 4 o'clock, and we're in trouble deep. Wake up, little Susie. Wake up, little Susie. Well, what are we gonna tell your mama? What are we gonna tell
Celebrating
your mama?
25 years of 97.1 in St. Louis. Here's Jimmy Fela.
I'm nothing without you, 97.1 FM Talk, and America needs you more than ever. So congratulations on 25 years. We cannot wait to see the next chapter.
I'm Scott Hansen, host of NFL Red Zone. Lowe's knows Sundays are for football. That's why we're here to help you get your next DIY project done, even when the clock isn't on your side. Whether that's a new Filtrete filter or Bosch and Cobalt power tools, Lowe's has everything you need to feel like the MVP of DIY. So get it done and earn your Sunday. Shop now, in-store and online. Lowe's, official partner of the NFL.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online at igotfloored.com. The website is full of very helpful information. It doesn't really matter where you are in the process of making a purchase for flooring. If you're just starting to explore the possibility, gosh, I wonder what it would cost to replace the flooring in the main level of the house, or that carpet really needs to go. What are my options? What are the different types of products that are out there? You might find yourself shopping for that Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line of carpeting, which gives you a superior performance and a silky softness that you can feel this just comfortability of it under your feet. If you're laying on the floor to stretch out, you lay down on that fresh new carpet. It makes the whole house smell fresh and new. Michael's Flooring Outlet can help you navigate all the different options that they have. Of course, if you're buying carpet, you're going to buy padding to go underneath it. It's all about different investment, and you want to make sure your hard-earned dollar goes as far as possible. Michael's Flooring Outlet respects that. You can read about all the reviews that they have online through Google. They're all there at igotfloored.com. You can even request an estimate for your project, an in-home estimate if you want to, if you so choose. Michael's Flooring Outlet, 3 locations in St. Louis, online at igotfloored.com.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw, or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I was served an alert. I don't know why. I do subscribe to the Annie Fry Show on YouTube in my own personal YouTube account or whatever. But for some reason, was it this last weekend? I got served up the YouTube short of Ryan Wiggins singing the Matlock theme.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
And I think when you did that originally, you thought that I was going to cut you off, but you just did the whole thing.
You didn't stop me.
My recollection was that was a time check.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think you just came, and then you were like, it's 2:49.
That's right. Well, we had talked about something that you said, oh, you should just do that in time check. And so I did. And then it just went for like 60 seconds. Really long time to sing the Matlock theme song, of which there are no words.
No, I think it's burp, 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 burp.
Yeah. No, there's no vocals to that song, though.
Yeah. You made it work.
Thank you.
That's on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Come subscribe. We'd love to have you part of the chat and part of the YouTube live chat poll. Today's question is, how do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? Your 4 options are, it's a funny joke, it doesn't bother me, it's not helpful, or they're shameful. So varying degrees here of how you might have reacted to the sombrero memes. Ryan, how do you feel?
I wanted to pull up, let's see here, Ender's comment, because I think it nailed my thoughts. It says, I suppose I'm splitting hairs again, but memes aren't quite jokes. They're supposed to be points compressed into small bits with humorous twist. So I had to answer, doesn't bother me, because I thought, while it is a joke, it didn't make me die laughing, but I thought it was funny. So I don't know. I'm kind of between it's a funny joke and doesn't bother me.
Ethan, you want in on this one?
Go ahead, dude.
I can't see. Apparently, you can't see either. What's happening? Did you just sneeze your headphones down over your eyes?
No, my headphones had actually been down over my eyes this entire segment.
Oh, are you just bored?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was drinking water while Ryan answered, and I started to cough. Actually, I think that I'm going to disagree with you guys on this one. I think that I am more so leaning towards they're not helpful. I personally think that it is funny, but I mean, here's the thing. We all know how the other side is going to react. We all know how they're going to react. And with that information, it just feels kind of like, okay, is it necessary right now? I'm not saying that you couldn't make the argument that it is alleviating considering the intense climate that we are in, but I don't know. It feels like sometimes with Trump, my biggest complaint and frustration is when there's an opportunity to do his part in bridging together, that opportunity doesn't get taken. And this just feels, yes, funny, but also simultaneously for me, unnecessary. So I would
you
say
could do
not
without
helpful.
it.
Yes.
But you're not like angry about it?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that would be not helpful. Brad, what about you?
I think it's a funny joke, and I understand where you're coming from there, Ethan, about how it's not helpful and he could do his part in bridging the gap. But you kind of mentioned this earlier, Annie, in the first segment of the show. He did that in his first term as president. He tried to bridge the gap. He got no quarter from anybody on the Democrat side. It was everything is terrible about this man. And so what you're seeing now is him just being like, I don't even care what you guys think because it doesn't matter if I reach out or send an olive branch out. You're going to slap it out of my hand and call me Orange Hitler. So I think it's funny. I think the best way that you combat that sort of malice is to laugh at it and belittle it and make fun of it and ridicule it. And I think that's what he's doing.
I'm gonna dip into what Joe Concha said, but when Joe Concha points out what they have done to Donald Trump, what the aggressive progressive left has done to Donald Trump in the last 10 to 15 years is outrageous. It's unexplainable. It's, in I think many cases, criminal. What they have done to this man, what they've tried to stop him from doing. If this is if this is therapeutic for him and it's funny for the rest of us, I'm tired. I was going to say I'm tired of the conversation being like whose feelings are hurt over this. Because the extent of the sombrero thing to me at worst is hurt feelings, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Is there anything more dangerous about the sombrero memes other than hurt feelings?
No.
And you know where we shifted for a minute where we got into like words or violence. You know what's violent? Putting a bullet through Charlie Kirk's neck because you didn't like what he was saying and you wanted to sit him down and shut up. Like, we got to get back to the place where we clearly call out, regardless of party and politics, what is actually violent, what is actually abominable, and point to that and call it out for what it is, and then kind of laugh at the rest. And if you don't like the joke, don't laugh at it. Don't share it. Don't tweet it. But we're all getting our panties twisted in a bunch here because some sort of sombrero thing that is found funny by President Trump, but probably more so his team and President Trump also. Like, is it his idea? It might be. I don't know that it is, or I don't know that President Trump was sitting at the Resolute desk commanding his digital team to go, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put sombreros on them, and we're going to get a mariachi band in the back, and the mariachi band is going to be all me. I don't know that happened.
If this is the first year of Trump's first term, there's a lot of people on both sides going, this is not presidential. This is not presidential. But he has been president for one full term now. Then we saw Joe Biden, and then we re-elected as a nation Donald Trump. Of course he's going to do this now. I mean, he is, we said this yesterday. He is basically like, what else is there? I mean, I'm bound by the Constitution and law, but I'm not bound by precedent of other presidents. You knew what you were getting with Trump. This is it.
Yeah. I just think it's a joke. It's a funny joke. More of it. Let's force more people to laugh.
And like auto pin in place of Joe Biden's picture. That's you knew stuff. That this was part of the deal when you voted for him.
Results, Ethan, you want to hit him?
I absolutely will. 283 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. How do you feel about the president's sombrero memes? 3% say that they're shameful. 9% say not helpful. 24% say it doesn't bother me. And 64% say it is a funny joke.
Awesome. All right. I like you people. I like you people a lot. Keep it right here because the Mark Reardon Show is coming up next. A reminder for all things podcast, live streaming. If you need to get a clearer signal, the Odyssey app is always there to help you out. Find us on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, and find 97.1 FM Talk and the Annie Fry Show. Mark Reardon coming up next.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly Open Phone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/free and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/free. QUO.com/free.
If you're thinking about replacing your windows before winter hits, which is smart, don't keep making the same mistake. Stop replacing your failing vinyl windows on your home now with more vinyl. Lakeside Renovation and Design will install Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. They're built to last, they're energy efficient, plus they look stunning, and they're custom built for your home. Installed by Lakeside's expert team, and they're going to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty. If you're ready to upgrade your windows once and for all, you need to visit windowsbylakeside.com. Schedule your free consultation today.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Fry, along with Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group for the last Protecting Your Retirement educational event of the year. It's Thursday, October 2nd at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering if your 401k and IRA will last through your lifetime? Do you have your own personal